Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Yeah, you missed an experience there, pal. This is not the Joe Rogan Experience. This is the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
He makes it almost impossible to do this. Hello, good day, greetings.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. But first, Kamar, are there new patrons? No, there are not.
There are no
No, there are
patrons
not.
this week, but thank you for tuning in again week after week after week. Check out the YouTube, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. And again, our legacy program is fully underway. Join the Patreon for the post-show, the show after the show.
Yeah. Kamar, do you want to go over the guest list this week so we can do what we do here?
Sure do, Matty. We start off the week 2065, Jack Carr. The author's back in the seat. 2066, the Enhanced Games. Finally, we find out what that's all about. And we finish off the week with 2167, Nolan Arbaugh.
Carson Daly over here.
Sure do, Maddie.
Let's send it back to the studio.
Let's get this thing going.
We'll be right back.
I feel like these were all like in that under 2 hour sort of thing we were talking about last week. Remember?
The new normal. And
Yeah.
I forget which episode it is, but I have it written down. Joe mentions the idea of banking episodes. I believe it's Jack
Yes,
Carr.
he does mention it. Yeah.
And I wonder if that is also what this may be.
He's just doing short ones, like trying to bank a bunch of.
Well, no,
could be, yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think they are the day of, or very recently, and sometimes they're a week off or something.
Well, he did a fight companion, didn't he? Isn't that what I saw when I was looking this morning?
There's no way.
I think
It's
that's what I thought, Matt. Because what was the fight?
There was
Saudi Arabia.
there was a fight night. Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, fight companion, June 22nd. So no, he was around because they do those in Austin.
Yeah.
It's all right to be wrong.
Well, what do you rate this week?
I mean, how low are we allowed to go on a scale of
You can
1
go
to 5
0.5
Jamie
Jamies.
Vernon?
Well, we do say.
I'm pretty sure I've given a negative number before.
I'm certain you have as
Yeah,
well.
I might have to follow that lead this week.
Yeah, I'm going to, you know what? I'll give it a 2. 2 sounds about right.
I've been listening to Joe Rogan for at least 10 years.
Two. Can you? I'm sorry, I don't usually do this, but just for my own edification, give me the breakdown on that.
I like the Enhanced Games one.
Really?
Yeah, Jack Carr's like tolerable, and there's at least enough fodder in a short episode with the Neuralink guy.
It is super interesting. Yeah, I give it a 3.
Keep in mind, Simon, I give the week a 2. Like, that's not a shining review. You're mad that I... Okay.
You just reminded me of something. Thank you, Matt. No, yeah, it's not a great score,
Save it for the post, Joe.
but considering what I'm about to throw out there,
Yeah, a 0.
it's going to seem like a 5. I'm going to go with a negative 1.6, Matt.
Wow.
Okay.
I think this week stank. I think that he couldn't even do us like. This is what I meant last week when I feel like Joe feels like he's doing the listeners a favor at this point.
Okay.
Most podcasts are out there like want to get the best guest possible to make this week the best so we can get the most amount of views and the this and the that, and that strives and pushes them forward towards some modem of perfection. Joe, on the other hand, has too many viewers, and like he says all the time, I don't look at the numbers, I just do what I do. And unfortunately, some weeks that falls well short of the mark.
Okay, well, 3 very different reviews. Come on, let's start it off. Give us a name and a number, please.
2166 Enhanced Games.
Kamar, put your fucking chair down.
Hey, if you didn't notice, if you
No,
only
I
noticed by now,
noticed.
it's too late, dog. Christian Angermeyer and Dr. Aaron D'Souza.
He just pretended. Did you see that?
I did.
He touched the
I
thing
know.
and went like this.
He just lowered his
Sunk his
spine a bit.
shoulders
Yeah,
down.
fucking asshole.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, pig.
So
One of these guys was like comically German.
it's two gay guys that really like doing drugs and they want to do it while they do sports. So they started the Enhanced Games is my first impression. Everybody is cheating already. And the IOC, like, who are they? The way they describe it, they roll into town, ruin it, and then the next one. We know there's corruption. They're patting their pockets. The judges, as a kid, you think that the Olympics are this wicked thing, but
The judges.
I mean, Kamar, you still think that the Olympics is a wicked thing?
no, I think I'm nostalgic and just enjoy the competitive nature of it. But listening to these guys, like, it's just never been questioned. But year after year, there's some sort of corruption, the IOC.
This sounds kind of cool, though. You run the juice games on one side, you run the normal games on the other, and then the winners will get together and compete for like world domination title or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I like it. If you can pull the two things together, I think that's kind of cool.
Because if enough countries now have held it, they don't have to go anywhere else. That's sustainable in some sort of a.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be hilarious if countries like Russia were like, well, we're not even going to bother competing in the normal Olympics anymore.
Yeah.
We're already well tuned
yeah.
for this fucking juice Olympic.
Yeah, you might be right.
And it's not by country, which is sort of silly. Or do we like that?
It's not by country.
The Enhanced Games.
Oh, it's just everyone competes against it.
I mean, it is by country.
You
Like-
will be from that country.
That's what I'm
but-
saying. Like, people will still be like, Canada won.
No, but I think more to the point is like, let's say Jamaica has 30 sprinters that could make any team, but they only get to take 10 guys. That's the rules of the Olympics.
But if they're competing in this, they cannot compete in the Olympics, obviously.
So it's like a live tour PGA type.
That's how I look at it, yeah.
Well, we saw how that turned out.
Great. It's true.
Yeah,
The
so
PGA
like I
capitulated.
said, they could be competing against each other in no time.
But their biggest thing is the fact that steroids have a negative connotation. They're not looked at like medicine that is good for you. And some medicines are good for you but bad for you. But steroids are not bad for you.
Well, it's like the guy said, though. The idea, like, originally it was that they were a schedule whatever drug. So for you to get steroids, for the most part, you had to, like, do them yourself, and it was unsafe, right? Like, wasn't that the...
I think it's all lies.
Okay, fair enough.
I think anything can be abused.
Yeah, well, of course.
And I think I think the biggest thing is maybe that back knee I was talking about. You get zits all over your back by doing steroids. But the idea that steroids and cheating are always in the same sort of sentence makes it sound bad. But he was saying you go to the doctor and it's not like the doctor says, is everything all right? And you go, yeah, I think so. He's like, great, out of here. It's never like, oh, well, we could do this and help you that way. The healthcare system isn't exactly like that. And so if you can have something to enhance yourself, because people say, well, I don't do sports or whatever, but no, you just feel better. And I talked to a guy at work who's doing it, and he says it's about $150 a month. So you've got to do it, you know what I mean? But these guys are saying alcohol is way more dangerous than steroids. And
Well, that
people
was
have no
interesting,
problem.
yeah.
I think it's part of it is it's just bad for your body, and part of it is it's so socially acceptable. People do it so much that they can get drunk, get in car accidents, whatever. Like, it's steroids. You're just gonna maybe shoot your wife. See, I think
Holy shit.
No.
May I jump in for a sec?
yeah.
I think a lot of
I mean, maybe shoot your wife.
I think a lot of the steroid propaganda was tied up with like these guys who were the bodybuilders. And it's already such a sport of excess. Like they're trying to get as big as possible. So then you like of course, there's going to be a lot of side effects to the amount of steroids they're taking. If you're like a football player who's taking steroids for recovery or, even to make yourself better, but on a much lower dose, you probably don't run into those same issues. I'm sorry, Kamar, you can go back.
Well, hold on. The problem we have though is like in baseball, for example, we know that guys were like bang average hitters and then started juicing and started clocking dingers.
Yeah, it was making them bigger.
Yeah. So what I'm saying though is like that's once we open that floodgate, and again, they're just saying we're opening that floodgate, but like for professional sports, for example, like once you open that floodgate, everyone has to do it, right? Like you're just at a disadvantage if you're not doing it.
I mean, you're more commendable if you succeed without doing it. But again, just in life, who cares? You're only going to live for an amount of time. If there's something you can take that makes you
No, I agree. Listen,
feel
I agree
better.
with that, of course.
The other one was roid rage. Roid rage is this thing to talk about, and that's what I was referring to. But I think it might be actually more CTE.
I think it comes in those really big doses. And that roid rage was tied into that whole...
No, but I'm saying the people who have roid rage are football players, wrestlers, so they are going to have a level of CTE.
Oh,
so
they're already
mix the
fucked
two
up.
together.
I
It's
see what
more
you're saying.
volatile.
Yeah, probably.
Deal.
Well, no, that makes sense because a guy like the Wolverine, he was a WWE wrestler. What's his fight? Benoit. Chris Benoit.
He killed his
Benoit, yeah.
family.
And they blamed it on steroids.
Oh, is
but
that-
later on, it turns out that it's totally CTE.
So that's
right?
exactly
it's
what
pretty
I-
classic. Well, I think you're probably right there. I think they were just making this misdiagnoses because we just didn't know any better at the time.
And I'm not sure the power that be that doesn't want people to think of steroids as something an option if you want to enhance your life. But they got in a special debate, not special. I'm special.
Special teams, special players, special plays.
About mushrooms and the substance abuse guy was the endurance game guys was enhanced game guys was very adamant not to mix any drugs, weed and mushrooms, or the classic thing we do. You guys could imagine doing mushrooms without smoking weed,
No.
and Joe had a big
I've never
pushback.
tried it.
I think his big thing was alcohol.
Alcohol with anything else.
Yes.
I thought he was about mixing anything. He wants you just to do one thing.
No, I agree with what you're saying, Matt, because most drugs like weed, I found amplified the mushrooms.
Just enhanced it.
but
Never.
alcohol is like a wet blanket on every other high.
Yeah.
It just,
It also, the alcohol will make you abuse whatever drug you're like if you're drunk and you're
Less
taking
restrained.
mushrooms, yeah, you're just going to eat a handful of mushrooms like a fucking idiot, and that's probably going to ruin your night. Whereas if you're just sitting at home sober and you eat a little bit of mushrooms and smoke a joint, you're probably just going to end it there. You might smoke another joint maybe, but right, booze is always the fucking let's get an 8-ball and really have a night. Alcohol is always the one that sends everyone fucking. So yeah. Alcohol is definitely a problem.
alcohol is the worst drug. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
it. And isn't it funny that the one drug that is ingrained into our way of life,
I mean, in our defense, it's been around for thousands of years.
and it's been around way longer than that?
No, but what I mean, yeah, I get it.
El cannabis.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is they used to drink it because water wasn't safe.
Yeah, but it was 1% or 2%. So it was just giving you this really low buzz. It was like microdosing liquor.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you microdose liquor, it would probably be
That's actually the way to go, yeah.
Just fine. But nobody ever does that because the second you get enough liquor in you, you're like, oh, fuck the microdose.
Yeah.
Give me the whole keg.
I'm surprised they haven't invented some sort of drug
That's
that
called.
can make you
yeah.
feel 2.5 beers or whatever the perfect.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Buzz is-
A
Well, I
pill
think
that's called
they
3
have
drinks.
that drug. It's called OxyContin.
The one thing I with the OxyContin is you feel great, but you can't talk. Everything is relaxed.
I mean, same with liquor. You just think that you're the shit. And
guess.
No,
really
because
you're
three drinks.
slurring
No,
your
three
words.
drinks. You're still
Or
like,
you're slurring, but there's a perfect thing. But on those Oxycontin or Percocets, I can hear my throat just like everything is just super relaxed. So you are slower. I guess alcohol you are too. I guess they are the same. You're right. Less of a hangover from Percocet. But. The two biggest sponsors of the Olympics,
Coke and McDonald's.
Coke and McDonald's. Sorry.
No, it was going to go backwards, but you ran through it too fast. It's all good. Coke and McDonald's, yeah.
Fucking ruining this podcast. Coke and McDonald's, two biggest sponsors of the Olympics. So no one cares about health or anything or any of these things. It's all about money. All about money. Because for sure as a kid, you're watching this and you see Ben Johnson cheating or anyone successfully winning an award. And then you see a Big Mac commercial and you just, of course, it's going to be in your head that these are two good things. So they are actually, Joe was surprised to find out that they're having a bunch of people going, how do we get in on this? Corporate sponsors, this
I'm
sort of
trying
thing.
to think if it's like you need the corporate sponsors.
You do.
You need to get these athletes able to.
Well, you can't pay guys $1 million to break a world record without some corporate sponsors. Now, the good news is for them, they were like, we have Peter Thiel and Naval. I can't say his last name, whatever the guy's the super rich billionaire. They're behind this right now. So they have a lot of like big money behind them.
And they feel they have enough money to fund it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is, it makes sense because you could not just do it once and sort of hope it's so popular that everyone gets in on it. You have to try it a couple times.
You
But
know,
they're really smart. Sorry, Simon. They're really smart because their infrastructure idea is brilliant too. We don't have to do it all in one city. There doesn't have to be a host country where it's like all the jumping is here. It's like anywhere where they already have the infrastructure, where it's the best, we do it there. We can televise it, do it over the internet because that's the fucking world we live in.
Because the Olympics is a traveling road show.
Yes.
It is like
Not to
going
mention, it
fleece cities.
It breaks countries. Greece is still broke from the fucking Olympics.
It breaks countries. I mean, some people will say it's a windfall for restaurants and hotels in the area, but I'm sure this will be similar.
when you said Peter, like I listened to this episode obviously, but I didn't really pick up on the fact that Peter Thiel was the guy.
Yeah.
Elon.
That is a little concerning to me because when you think about it, they're trying to usher in this like
CRISPR and all sorts of fucking shit like that. It's just a different.
This is the next step to get you to be all right with
That's what I
putting in
thought.
a cybernetic hip, and then we'll just put in like this chip in your brain that will allow your joints to move freer. Like it all starts getting real murky. And the fact that this Peter Thiel guy is willing to put up so much money to these fucking, like Kamar said, it sounded like a pitch for Fire Island, frankly. There's something that was amiss here.
I'm with you.
Why?
Look, I'm not saying I don't like the idea. Just when we have a 3-year cushion, you know how much fucking money that is? Like,
For them
Kamar.
to put it on.
yeah.
His thing is like if you found out that like Elon was sponsoring this thing and this Noel, I don't know. I get what Simon's saying totally. It's
I
like
thought the tie together with
yeah, it's
Nolan.
It's the idea that like these guys are probably pushing it for some nefarious purpose down the road, and just under the guise of like, well, wouldn't it just be great if we had a better like games where
they're gay. They would
Are
never
they
do
gonna
something
do-
not that these guys, the Peter Thiel and
Are they
the
going to do a
higher ups.
steroid special Olympics, you figure?
I'm going to leave that one.
We'll see. We'll see how this works out. But yeah, possibly Simon, that could be on slate for.
Like, I'm sure they're thinking ahead already, you know?
Yeah.
Joe's big pushback was the trans athletes. And as he was arguing it, I'm like, this is like a no rules thing. There's no rules in our no rules thing. Is this the Kumite or isn't it the Kumite?
What's weird too was they were like, they didn't say yes we will or no we won't. They were like, if someone is serious about it and thinks they can break a record, we'd like to have a conversation with them because like they're just looking for literally. I don't even think they want the guys that place 10th and down. They're looking for the top 10 people in whatever space, and they don't care about the rest. So yeah, I think like I don't know. It just seemed like they had no fucking whatever.
Back to technology, though, I'm starting to see more and more that is just inevitable. Like Joe made the analogy of, well, you're not going to use not in this episode, but you're not going to use a feather to write a book. You're going to use a computer, a printing press, whatever. All these, it's just inevitable technologies. Because when we were kids, when you might not remember, but it was, I think it was called the Bionic Man, the $6 million man, Steve Austin or whatever.
Yeah, that was a little before our time, but yeah.
But that was the coolest thing.
That
was
Steve Miller or whatever
whatever it was. You didn't look at that like, oh, the machines are taking over. You're like, that'd be amazing. You can jump 20 feet high because he's an astronaut. I think gets in a car accident, and he's a $6 million man.
We can rebuild him.
And now, isn't Justin Jefferson getting $43 million a year? I think Bill Burr did that, but it's all just inevitable. Hip replacements, super stuff. Like it's not a bad thing.
He fought a Bigfoot in one episode.
Kamar, hip replaces. I don't think hip replacements is what anyone cares about. If you can get your hip replaced and still compete at a high level, kudos.
Is that what you said? Or you're saying actually mechanics inside?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Simon's saying like if you're Oscar Pistorius and you lose your legs, for example, and then they give you better
Bionic
legs. Yeah, and then you're
not those blade things.
Yeah, and then you're shaving 2 seconds off the 100-meter dash. I think that's more what Simon's.
It's like steroids will be a thing of the past because every time you need to get better at something, you're just going to input a new piece until you're, 70-30 Android Kamar, and then it'll be 60-40 and 50-50. And if it's anything like the the race to the top in athletics today, will be 90-10 the other way before you know it.
So would you be happy if it just didn't happen, or would you at least have the option to choose it if you wanted to?
Listen, I think this is a good idea, and the Olympics suck. So I'm all for these guys.
I don't agree with that. I think the Olympics are great.
No,
there are some
trash.
problems.
The
with
IOC
them.
then.
The IOC sucks. And there are some problems with the Olympics, but it's still fun to watch. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, you're going to watch. I don't know. I mean,
Just as far as body sciences go, this is going to be an advancements that could help everyone, with breakthroughs. Like they were talking about.
Also, I find it, sorry to cut you off. There was one point where he was like, skateboarders. There aren't a lot of professional skateboarders in the world. I was like, I think there's actually probably more professional skateboarders than.
I think he was saying sports that are professional outside of.
I get it. The big five. Yeah.
Competing in
I
sports.
understand.
And I
But
think
skateboarding is one of the bigger
Like there's no professional javelin tour.
Yeah, I get it. But what I'm saying is like skateboarding has one of the bigger populations compared to a lot of the Olympic
Hence
sports,
why
I would
it's
say.
in the Olympic sports.
Well, yeah. Am I wrong, Simon?
Well, and breakdancing?
I think in the big scheme of things, it's probably a smaller number than you think, but
Okay, but just to put it in
More people
perspective.
ski than skateboard.
Just to put it in perspective for you, baseball is 147 years old, professional baseball.
Yeah.
And the amount of players that have played it professionally, if you took the smallest ballpark in Major League Baseball, you would 60% fill it with all the people that have ever played baseball ever professionally.
interesting.
That's a very interesting statistic. More people swim than skateboard.
But professionally swim.
There's no professional swim
Let me
tour.
throw another fact at you.
Go, please. I love facts.
We live. No, it was just, don't worry about it.
Oh, he doesn't even have a fact?
No, I do, but it was something you'd heard a million
Killer
times.
Jones.
It was Cleopatra pyramid.
Oh, you dickhead, yeah.
I was just gonna, but I,
Ozempic's market cap is bigger than the OpenAI.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's so crazy how lazy we are as people that you could work out and diet. No, give me the jab. And you see it on TV. Older people who are skinny with jowls.
dude, it doesn't only make your your torso skinny, it like does something to your face. It's crazy. Like, have you seen perfect example, the
Scott
whole
Disick.
Osborne family?
Yes.
The two girls look, the mom and the girl, they look insane.
Not good.
Like insane.
Not good.
Not good.
Insane could be both.
No, insane. Like they look deranged.
Yeah, Huck 2 is insane. So So that is completely acceptable to take this drug for something else, but steroids, hey, be careful with that. It's just been something that's been ingrained, just like we think. I'm trying to trace back to why I always thought our healthcare system was the best.
Because it's free.
But who told me? Like, did I just decide that?
No, they always told us that.
They
how
told
great our
We
healthcare
were
system
completely
was.
told that. Then it just
Trust
it's
me,
like,
it wasn't my
word is
parents
born.
bragging about how great the
I don't know where
healthcare
I thought
system
that
was.
I mean, it's great because it's free, but as I get older and I look at it and I've experienced it, I don't think it's that great.
And I'm telling you, like my mom, we know firsthand that even back in the 80s, the medical system was garbage, like making horrible mistakes and tainted blood and this and that, like
Yeah, but that was everywhere, not just here.
everywhere across Canada.
No, it wasn't. Okay, sure.
And
Canada-
all I'm pointing out is our generation had a shitty medical system, and you can't look back and say, oh, well, our parents had it so great. They didn't.
No.
So where, like Kamar is saying, is this great fucking medical
I
system
think
coming
just the
from?
idea that it's compassionate to take care of everyone sounds great.
Well, that is great.
but the execution of that
is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that we're like in Europe, it works a lot better because they're super stringent on healthcare stuff. Like the food regulation in Europe is 10x what it is here. Because we're so close to the States, we eat all the food that the US eats, which is like high fructose corn syrup.
it's healthier food over there.
Yeah, and because it's healthier, you have less health issues. So you have less, the healthcare system isn't as, there's not a strain on it like there is here. The other thing too is, and I can't believe I'm going to quote her, but like I saw this interview with Cardi B the other day, and she was like, why does it cost money to go to school to be a doctor? It should be free.
Yeah.
And she was like, and if you need doctors, why not make it free? Incentivize people to go do it. She's like, healthier society means more people working. More people working means society's better. And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? I was like, am I listening to Cardi B?
And if you become a doctor for free, you're less needing to recoup your
Exactly.
And
Dude,
listen,
loans
you're
and
still
everything.
going to get the best people because it's going to be a stringent program.
You can
Most
still fail.
people
You can
will
still
drop
fail
out
yeah.
because it's too hard.
When you find out that Harvard could send every student there for free for the rest of time because of the
Endowments.
interest they have on their endowments, you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, when you hear that there's a shortage in doctors, that just shouldn't ever be the case. We live in a country, especially ours, we live in a country where we could easily say, guess what? The top 5 schools now have to give out 100 scholarships a year to anyone that wants to be a doctor who's like, dude, problem solved right there. You're spitting out 100 new doctors a year, all because we've decided that these rich ass schools that are making tons of money have to do this. Hey, you have to give out these free tuitions to high level students. Done. Boom. Bang.
No, that's really interesting, Cardi B. That's actually the most profound thing I've heard
Isn't
in a
it?
long time.
I cannot argue with it.
Apart from the girl who's like, so let me get this straight. I'm paying tax on the money. I'm bringing it in.
What will be interesting is if the IOC is the cartel I purport it to be.
I don't think it's you purporting it to be, but go on.
If this 2025 first run is just a smash success, will we see the IOC running interference, mudslinging? Stuff's going to come out about these guys. Skeletons in the closet. Do you know what I mean? That is because it doesn't feel like the Olympics. I guess they don't approve of it because they don't approve of drugs, but fair play to anyone who wants to do something. I'm just saying, if it's a success, we can imagine the IOC trying to stop it.
No, the IOC, if it's a success, they will just immediately pivot. There's too much money
They'll go
involved.
PGA.
Yeah. Because like you're saying, the Coke and the McDonald's money is too fucking big for them to be like, what they'll do is they'll do what like a lot of things do. They'll be like, okay, so the village is a little bit nicer and each athlete gets $1,000. And if you get first, you get 10,000. You know what I mean? Like that.
I never thought about that, how shitty the conditions are in the athletes' village. The cardboard beds. It's always a thing. Everyone was like, how are they supposed to do so well?
Dude, in Russia, it was nuts. They were showing the village there. It was fucking brutal. Like there wasn't even, you couldn't even call it clear water coming out of the taps. And
You compete, you practice all year, train, and then the night before you have the worst sleep of your life.
well, what's crazy too, Simon, is like in the Olympic Village, the food that's free is McDonald's. They have a bunch of McDonald's there. So they're just giving the athletes McDonald's,
Well, that doesn't even make sense.
right?
That's because probably most of those athletes like compete once and then are just partying
Yes,
for the rest of the time.
that's how it happens.
That can't be for athletes who are actually trying to
Like
do well.
like you said,
that doesn't make
a
sense.
huge percent of the athletes don't even make the top 10.
But wait a second, hold on. This fucking pen, man, it's got like a life of its own. You think it's bad that McDonald's? Yo,
Do you know those videos where like someone's, you know those videos where someone's vape catches fire in their pocket and like
Yo.
burns a whole store down?
yo, that thing's fucking crazy. Do you think it's bad that McDonald's and whoever are
I think it's
with the
insidious.
Olympics? Like, why is that bad? But I mean,
Well, it's very simple. Like you could never in any world make an argument that one of these athletes could live off McDonald's and perform athletically at a high.
no, agreed, fine. But like, McDonald's has ads in the Super Bowl. Like, this just seems like a no-brainer to me. We're a capitalistic society.
But hold on, these guys
we're going to be pure for the Olympics.
These
Why?
guys
No
don't have
steroids, but McDonald's is good.
Simon. These
That's
guys
in
don't have
all
a,
sports, Kamar.
Simon. These guys don't have a problem. They would take the McDonald's
Yes.
money in a heartbeat for their enhanced
I think they're
games.
just pointing out the irony.
Yeah, they were just saying like, how can you say, hey, you're injured, you can't take something to help yourself recover faster. Also, we're not paying you,
And have a Big Mac and a Coke.
but yeah, enjoy this sugary beverage and this fake food.
So you would like, just playing Diablo
Diablo
avocado
avocado,
here. You would like that every sponsor for the Olympics goes through like a rigorous process of
No, it's just the
elimination.
association.
Simon, I don't care. What we're saying is that it's fucking hypocritical to say you can't do steroids, but we're brought to you by
Okay,
McDonald's.
but they say that in every single sport. So every time a liquor or what, you know what I mean? Like what different, so if Labatt sponsors the Super Bowl, they also say no steroids allowed.
Simon, I have no problem with anyone fucking advertising on any sports thing.
Okay, so you have no problem with McDonald's in the
No, I don't.
Olympics. Okay, so
They
that's what I was
pointed out.
asking.
We were just talking about
I-
the podcast we all listened
I
to.
am only asking because at first I was like, yeah, that seems crazy. And then I was like, well, no, that's how sponsors work, right?
You're a businessman.
Tons of sponsors don't do the shit or you know what I mean? Like,
How about this, Simon?
The Super Bowl, you'll have a fucking women's brand that advertises. Who
Simon, how
knows?
about this? Like when you see on the field at the Super Bowl, them drinking Gatorade, a lot of the times it's water.
Because they don't even drink Gatorade. So there you go.
No, but my point being, like, if you want to have McDonald's sponsor and slap their logo all over the Olympics, we're fine with that. No one has a problem with that. This is capitalism. You have to make money somehow. We get that. What we're saying though is like these are high level athletes, and the Olympic Village should have not just McDonald's as the option for the athletes, right? Like, does that make a little more sense? Like, have the McDonald's logo everywhere, but have them eating, like, offer them healthy food. You're making $22 billion off this Olympics.
Yeah, that has more to do with the IOC, I guess, than McDonald's.
Of course, because it's corrupt. No, but my point is just simply remains that you're making so much money off this. You could feed them good food while still having the McDonald's logo and the Coke logo everywhere. You can have them drinking out of Coke glasses all the time.
I mean, that may be the case, Matt, that there's also those options. We don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? And like I said, the ones who are actually competing, who are in contention for a medal, there's no way they're eating McDonald's. They have to be eating good food. So that food is coming from somewhere.
Where's that, Simon?
I assume in the fucking village. Maybe it's coming from their own coach. I don't
We just
I
established
don't know.
the Olympic Village is like refugee condition.
Because that guy told you that.
No, you've heard
the news
You hear
tells us
this
every year.
You hear
the
this
horror
every year.
stories
Yeah.
of the
That's
athletes
true.
and the
you do hear
the
that.
village.
But again, you're taking a lot of like on face value from a guy who's trying
Do you
to
have
usher
stock in the
fucking-
IOC and the Olympics? What's going on
no,
here?
not at all.
These guys are 2 degrees from Elon Musk, and he doesn't like it. Do you remember Brazil when those
actually makes
swimmers were out partying all night and missed curfew or whatever, and then said they got robbed, and
Yeah.
the police were
They
like
were-
so adamant
they
about
were
it.
American.
No,
yeah.
the American
Yeah.
swimmers, yeah.
No, but
He
the
said
Brazilian
Brazilian.
police
did.
Oh, yeah.
were adamant to say no, this is not what
Yeah,
happened.
what was that guy's name? He was like,
Tyler
that was a
Lockey or-
meme for a while.
Lockey or something.
Yep.
and he was a
I think you
doofus.
got it.
When the world, because these guys are sure world records will be broken, and will the IOC put up a stink about that? Will the Asterix world records or whatever?
Well, here's a question for you, okay? So if it's the case that the athletes that are competing in the Olympics remain in the Olympics, okay? Let's just pretend that's the case. The group of people they have vying for those things will remain the same. There will still be people who want to compete in the Olympics. That means that the other people in this steroids games are going to be of lesser caliber than the Olympic athletes, but because they're taking the steroids, they're going to have an advantage. But the natural talent obviously isn't there, or they probably would have been competing for the Olympics.
Well,
in the
we
first
know
place.
people are cheating in the Olympics.
Do you
though.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you could be wrong because let's say the number one, let's say Usain Bolt, okay?
Yeah,
Let's say
perfect.
he injures his foot. And he decides like I'm either going to have to recoup this. The recovery on this thing's either going to be 5 years and I'm going to retire, like I'm not going to be able to compete, or I can just fucking juice myself up to fix this thing, and then I can just go compete over here.
So you're going to get some of the hurt players. Sure, fine. You know what I mean? Some of these guys at the end of their careers who are like suffering injuries now.
Listen,
but for the most part-
Simon, money talks.
You just think everybody will end up going for the prize pool.
What I'm saying is this: if you're the best at, I don't know, cycling, right, the velodrome, something that is not a sport that's ever going to make you a lot of money, and all of a sudden these guys say, if you can break the world record over here, we'll give you $1 million, even if you're not juiced up, you might like. That's the big thing
Well,
you're
that's
missing.
what I was going to say. What's his name should just go and do that, but he can't because then he can never come back and do the Olympics.
But who? Well, I mean, again, he's like
Are you talking about Usain Bolt?
Yeah, Usain
Apparently, he
Bolt.
just injured himself.
I mean, he's also a weird one because I bet he's got a lot of fucking deals with like Adidas, Nike, whoever the
Yeah.
fuck. I bet he makes a ton of money. So he's probably fine. The real problem is that like the highest level athletes usually have good sponsorships. It's usually the guys that are like, you know,
And that's the difference.
10th through 30th.
Yeah. That's the difference between the PGA and the live thing is that guys on the PGA could say, you know what, we're not going to chase the live money because we're still making pretty decent money on the PGA
Yeah.
tour. These other athletes are not making decent money. Most athletes make no money.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it's also because like you've chosen a sport, like, you know, no disrespect, but like shot put or javelin, like
Those people aren't competing in the steroid Olympics anyways because those events aren't in it. They only took the top whatever,
Yeah, I guess,
5
yeah.
or 7 events,
yeah.
whatever it was. So those guys are out anyways.
no, but that's what they took for now. Like if the thing gets big enough, they might start including more sports, right? More eyes, more viewership. Can you not eat while we fucking do it?
I've been doing it the whole time. You haven't
ASMR.
even noticed.
I have.
Usain Bolt
Yeah.
is retired, so he's out of the conversation. But he did rupture his Achilles heel last week in a celebrity soccer tournament.
Wow.
Just a sidebar.
It was funny because after he broke the world record, he was talking about going to play soccer professionally, and I was like, "Fuck, man! If you had him on the wing,
They tried him out for a team actually.
Or football?
Yeah. I mean, football, you got to catch. Like, I feel like as
Yeah,
a Jamaican,
he's
he's probably a little more blessed. That's like he probably grew up playing soccer.
Blessed.
That was smooth.
Thank you.
Is it a disaster if these guys run the enhanced games and no one breaks a world record?
Yeah, I think that this guy has been talking a pretty big game about all the records that are going to be shattered.
But I
He
think you'd
says
have to put them on the clock. Like you would give them a few,
20,
right?
20, 25.
No. What I mean is like,
I'm here for it.
A few cycles.
yeah, like they didn't mention either. Are they going to run it every year? Is it going to be every 4 years? You know what I mean? That's a big thing too. Like,
I like the fact that, like Simon said, it's here, or you said there. You don't have to ruin a city or infrastructure thing. And also, it's just like premier sports. It's all killer, no filler. Because you watch the Olympics, that's the only time you're going to watch archery or curling or pick your sport.
I mean, I'll contend that if it's for like when you have that pride that you want your country to win, they could be playing fucking beanbag toss. It doesn't matter. Like, it's the competition.
Gold medal's a gold medal.
That's why any sport is a good sport in the Olympics.
And it reminds me so much of entertainment industry, like in the beginning where you perform for free and so you get better and then you make the money. The IOC asks all these countries to take your taxpayers' dollars, pay for your athletes to train, we'll give you a venue, and then you get a gold medal.
But that's kind of where the joke is it's like you're telling someone who's like in a sport that they're never going to make money, like, just wait and the money will come. And it's like, but wait a minute, I'm in the 2-man luge. Like, where's the big money after the Olympics? Like, what am I, you know what I mean? And that's the other thing too, is like there are, like the Olympics, I'm sorry, they need to trim down a bit. Like the 2-man luge is the perfect example of like, let's just add another, like just throw a guy on top. Like, I don't know, like.
It's the gayest thing ever. Oh, that's what I keep forgetting. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
I remember when they discontinued ski ballet.
Perfect example.
Freestyle skiing was
oh my God.
moguls. The big,
which
is
the
awesome.
freestyle, the ballet was ridiculous.
Yeah, my cousin, my girl
God.
cousin used to do ski ballet. Like, it was a thing.
I felt bad for like
stupidest
you're
thing
waiting for
ever.
your shot, and then they go no more for you, so they have to make a gay Olympics. So if no world records are broken, then there will be no people going, hey, what is that guy on? Because that's what they thought would be.
They did have to take out the synchronized swimming because you can't have synchronized swimming and no ski ballet. You know what I mean? Like,
No, synchronized swimming is insane. The amount of time they hold
it's fucking
their
retarded.
breath underwater.
And you're crazy.
And recently they've started stuff where they shoot them out of water.
If it was so great, they wouldn't be taking it out of the Olympics.
They are taking it out of the...
Yeah, did you listen to this episode?
Stop.
Kamar's so devastated.
Well, because it's like his voyeuristic
We'll
sport.
be
He gets
right
to
back.
look at women upside down, which is some weird fetish of his.
That would be gymnastics.
He likes when they look like little kids as well. Sorry.
Sometimes little boys.
What's it called? Synchronized swimming?
Yeah. You don't believe him?
No.
Okay.
They wouldn't do that to me.
They did it. First, they took away your ballet
No,
skiing,
they're
and now
saying-
they took away
they're
your
saying
synchronized
they're not
swimming.
going to have a sport like synchronized swimming in the enhanced games.
Next thing you
But it's a
know,
sport.
they're going to take away your rollerblades, and then where are you going to be?
That's the best. They're like synchronized swimming. We don't need people enhancing for that. They're just like, they're just jumping out of the water like
They
dolphins.
made their hands like really big, so they can just keep their fucking feet out of the water. Think what a stupid sport that is.
Stop.
It really is so dumb. Like, when you break down out of all the dumb sports, synchronized swimming is so moronic.
Yeah.
First
How
of
did
all,
it even come
it's
to be?
super gay.
It's a team
That's
sport.
why they don't have a male version of it.
Men can't even do it.
Yeah,
How
I know.
did it come to be?
Men could do ballet skiing though.
Yeah, we were
Couldn't
great at
they?
it. Yeah. Of course they could.
I don't know. Could they?
Oh yeah, there was tons of men.
It was like in the Olympics, there was man and women
Yeah.
ballet skiing.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Simon, what Olympic sport has
hasn't
just
been
women
dropped
or
from the
just men?
Olympics.
Synchronized swimming.
And it hasn't been dropped.
Dude,
Interesting.
this is
Yeah,
the
you're right. Well, that's the
conversation.
only one then.
It has not been dropped from the Olympics.
Oh, there you go.
They are not doing it.
Listen, can you look up ballet skiing? Was it both men's and women's?
I'm positive there was men.
It was.
You're positive.
100%.
I'm positive too. I'm not gonna look
You're not
that
even
up.
going to look it up. Well, you know what? I have a phone right here. I'll look it up.
It was my mom's dying wish that I became a ski ballet.
In gymnastics, there's certain disciplines that are only for men or female. The women do the uneven bars, the men do not. And the pommel horse. Or no, I think
No, the
both
men do the pommel horse.
No, they do the rings, and the women don't do the rings. The women do the uneven parallel bars.
That's
the
it,
men
that's it,
don't do
that's
the
it.
uneven parallel bars.
None of this
they have
ribbon.
all, yeah, there's no, they both do a floor, but there's no ribbon or ball or any of that shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, Simon's
Do you
deep. in
think the lady
Olympics.
knows too much? Anyways, me and Simon, I know, love the Olympics, but
Well, you're talking like you don't love the
I
Olympics.
don't love the IOC. And I think the IOC is more insidious than these guys are, or despite your worries about Peter Thiel's intention of being involved.
But I mean, all of those big associations, FIFA is just as corrupt. Like anytime, it seems like all those big sporting European
But they pay their
associations,
athletes.
FIFA pays them.
And
Yeah,
these
I
guys are
guess,
going to pay their athletes.
Doesn't it seem though, like just in the system that's set up for us, period, in capitalism, that everything ends up corrupt? Like that seems to be, you make enough money and then you just
You know what's
start
really
making more bad decisions to make more money.
You know what's really crazy? Someone was breaking down all the African players playing in the Euros, and they were just like, if you had to play for the country you were from, Africa would be like one of the greatest footballing continents on earth. But they all end up playing for Europe. Like the French team is like,
I was going to say they all end up in France.
the Dutch team is the same thing, dude. Even the Scottish team has 8 African players on it. Like, it's crazy.
What?
I need to.
Are these brought in?
No, it's the same thing. Like Donovan Bailey ran for Canada. He wasn't
born in
Canadian.
Jamaica.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I
I
need
mean he's
to-
Canadian. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Well, that's why I think what they said, the nationalism thing's is stupid.
I need
Doesn't
to.
really matter.
Go ahead, Simon.
Unbelievable.
What is?
I need to rectify something from last week.
Thank you. Oh,
He'd like you to
it's
rectify.
not
Thank
something-
you for what?
I thought you did something wrong to me. You're
No.
going to take this moment to apologize.
No, absolutely not. I said that both the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Mavericks would both lose
Yeah.
their next game.
Yeah.
I was right about the Mavericks, but obviously wrong about the Edmonton Oilers.
First topic on the post show.
And just by the by,
I told you that Portnoy had money on
team
Edmonton.
that has the most Canadians always wins the Stanley Cup. And Edmonton has like 6 more Canadians than Florida has. So bada bing, bada boom.
Who's Florida's captain? Kachuk?
Yeah.
No, Barkov.
Oh, then they won't win.
Because it's a Euro captain.
Correct.
But he's an awesome player.
I'm not taking away from his
And
awesomeness.
There's a guy in Florida. His name is Reinhardt.
Plenty
Is
of
that
you-
name of a knight or just the hero?
Plenty of Euro
am
captains have won, like
Google it.
Lidstrom for the
Google it.
That might be the one.
Fly.
No,
or
wasn't
the,
it? Wasn't
Red
it
Wings.
Steve Yzerman?
Yeah, maybe.
Matt Sundin couldn't win with the Leafs. Well, the Leafs can't win.
Just Google it. European
I'm going
captains
to.
that have won the Stanley Cup. You're gonna be shocked.
Well, ours is. I was worried about the Oilers because they're just not physical enough. They're way
I was worried
faster.
about the Oilers because they went down 3-0 and looked like they were going to get fucking swept.
So
Pardon me.
if people do break world records, we'll be like, yeah, I was on turn, HEH. I'd like to thank the
Yeah.
makers of
Yeah.
steroids or whatever they're on.
3.
Okay.
And the
the
first
history.
one was Lidstrom,
Yeah,
just to give Simon a little bit
you
of
do
credit.
something? Who
I
else?
fucking killed that. I didn't even look.
Good.
My point remains, though, is like
Yeah.
your odds of winning a Stanley Cup without a Canadian
not a
captain
lot.
are very fucking slim.
So do you guys think you will never do steroids, peptides, anything like that? All these things that we've
I
been
would do
learning
them.
about, but you just don't know who to ask, or
Well,
Well,
first
I'd have
of
to
all,
get
100
injured
and
or-
whatever dollars a month.
you'd have to get injured. You can just take it if you're healthy too, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I just, like Simon's saying, I don't have the money, and I'm not like. We live in a place where you can't just go to the doctor and be like, "Hey, can I get a bunch of stuff to make me feel better?" They'll be like, "Nah."
So you'd only do it if you knew you're at least getting it from a doctor. You wouldn't get it from some gym dealer.
No,
guy.
it has to be free through our medical care. That's what I want.
I mean, I'm with Simon.
You think it's an unnecessary expense?
No, what Simon's saying is like we have health care. This fucking guy.
Listen.
Don't listen,
I
Linda
have
me,
to
all
keep
right?
my energy up.
Shut the fuck up. Why don't you eat it right into the mic, too? Why don't you do that, Simon?
Let's just enjoy that. Oh, look at you love chocolate, eh?
Oh, look at you love chocolate. Okay.
So there's no way you'll if you found take this. It's $150 a month. You do it every 2 days. It's a shot or it's a pill or whatever. You wouldn't be interested in doing that.
I would if I had the money, yeah.
The money, yeah. That's where I'm at because you don't want to do it, then run out and be like, that.
Yeah, I
oh,
ran
what-
out of my feel good juice. Now I'm sucking. Now I'm
Then-
hawk toing a bunch of
then you're
dudes down the street.
robbing corner
Yeah,
stores to
exactly.
afford your steroid
Yeah.
fix.
like you saying, it's better to not know how good other people are
100
doing
exactly.
or feeling.
You don't want to know. Until you can afford that house, you don't want to know what it looks like on the inside.
Exactly.
And
Well-
that goes for a lot of things.
Like Matt
Goes
said,
for like
Everything.
women, the whole nine.
Everything.
these guys are on the clock, and it's the end of 2025.
Don't even look at how
Like
green the
before
grass
you
is.
knew Huck 2 existed, you were perfectly
It was
fine.
a way better life. Yeah. It's true.
Will there be?
Really
Your
out there living
girlfriend
my
who
best
just did
life.
it, Ordinary Joe.
Yeah.
Or in Kamar's case, Joe, who did it ordinary. Holy fuck, man.
Simon's on
I am
fire.
on
Look at this
fire.
guy. Look at
Since
this
I
guy.
picked him up, I called him Fuckboy Billy. That was the first thing I said to him.
I called him fuck
Dude, I have been
Billy.
on
I
fire.
called him fuck boy
the
Billy.
the better one was Eminem.
Oh, Em and Emma. That was my next one.
You know what I've realized is that you can judge Kamar's age every year based on his escapade photos, because every year the random girls in his photos get a little bit further away. Like,
And a little bit older.
like this year they were like arm's length away. Like he couldn't have touched one of them if he tried. You know what I mean? And so every year, like by the time he's 70, like the
he
photo
waits
will be
for
wide.
other people taking photos and then takes a selfie right
Did-
behind
Did you
them.
see about the picture of those three girls?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I went up and said, "Can I take a picture with you?" Don't worry, I don't have to stand with you. It's just for the gram.
Oh,
Not
dude.
the creepy or anything.
Fucking
'Cause you're the guy,
hilarious.
hey, let me get in between you.
If you have to preface with "I'm not a creep," what
Yeah.
you're about to
Yeah.
do, you shouldn't
Probably
be doing.
creepy. Yeah. I love it, Kamar.
Probably
I
should
fucking
just
love
be
it.
at
I'm gonna cut-
home
I'm gonna cut you
watching
right off there.
Escapade on one of your little feeds.
Yes, I did go to Escapade, and yes, I am going tonight, and yes, we'll talk about it in the post, Joe.
I don't think you get to decide what we talk about.
On the
I have
post
to
show, I
decide.
actually think he does. I got bad news for you, Simon. You might be new to this, but like he's pretty much in charge of that
Asked
shit.
and answered. We'll be right back.
You done with the enhanced games?
I give it a 3. I'm very interested in what happens.
Is that the appropriate amount of time?
Yeah, that's fine. This week was just not it.
It's a 2-hour podcast. You can't talk about a 2-hour podcast for 2 hours.
It's true.
Who is driving this train?
Not you.
Maddie.
And you know what, Simon? I'm at the back smoking a joint currently. Yeah, no, I'll give it a 3 as well. Simon, you couldn't have hated this episode. Like it was an interesting. This was an interesting talk. The one guy had a cute German accent.
And I don't know anyone who's had these guys. I might even bump into it before, but I don't want you to be mad at me.
I was gonna say 3.5. But yeah, I thought you
Taking
jumped down my throat.
We talked. He's talking about this happening. These are the guys
I
running. it.
like
You see again the Jews with their finger on everything, holding our
he's not in on
rating
it. 'Cause
system
he's not
down.
in it.
Yeah, holding our
No one
rating
told me
system
about
down.
this drug Olympics.
it's the JOC, not the IOC. Oh look, I made it sunny outside. Shut the fuck up.
The JOC.
The best is if some of the events, part of the guy's cocktail of drugs is smoking weed, and he's just puffing a huge thing right before he goes to the start.
Everything just slowly turns over like it's Jifa,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Jikey, Juma.
Well, you would know about this on JuPT.
Will you rate it, Simon? Can you give it your shit rating so we can take a break?
I like the idea of the Juiced Olympics. Seems fun. Just something else to cheer for. Didn't care for the Fire Island twins.
No, you mean Firefly Festival. Is that what you mean? Because Fire Island is just a gay like party place. But you
I'm
think
gonna hold strong to what I said.
but Firefly is like this great idea and it turns out to a complete disaster. That's not what you meant.
Are you trying to like cover my ass here somehow?
No, I meant to ask
No,
you.
I meant Fire Island.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Both
I'm
work.
gonna go with a
He's like, Simon has not been to this gay island. And Simon's like, I am talking about this gay island. I can assure you that's the one I'm talking about.
2
Okay. Great.
Both work.
dose.
All right, we're going to take a break, maybe pay a bill, and we will be right back. We're back. Kamar, name und a number, yeah?
Well, I thought on the heels of the enhanced games, it'd be appropriate to do 2167, 2167, Nolan Arbaugh, who obviously, Simon, you're coming in as a bias because it's too close to Elon.
We all have rolling chairs in honor of this guy.
Holy
Right off the top. Right off the top.
I told you I'm on fire today, buddy.
Jesus.
I've got a bomb.
This guy, if we look back in history, could be a big thing.
How old is that? Sorry, come
Why
on.
why are we doing this? Let's start by saying, like, Joe is clearly just at this point an advertisement for anything Elon's doing, like a mouthpiece.
I just think they're the same place, same time. It just is a coincidence. I don't think it's that orchestrated.
I think it would make sense that both of them were being run by Jim Baker or whatever the fuck his name is.
Kamar, if anyone else
Baker.
were putting implants in people's heads, Joe would be like, not fucking cool, man. But because Elon's doing it.
The electric car is so clearly a ploy by the powers that be to fuck up our whole system for whatever reason. Like Joe can clearly see that, just like anybody else can, but he's the biggest proponent of electric cars.
I wonder that, but there was a documentary called Who Killed the Electric Car?
Yep.
Yeah, we remember it.
And so the powers that be, was it the oil industry or whatever?
Yeah, they murdered that guy.
They murdered that guy, and now they're thriving and they're getting to push their electric cars. Like, why it didn't work then, but now it's...
Well, they've probably had enough time now to, the same way the cigarette companies got ready to become vape companies.
So you feel electric cars are bad?
100%.
Or a newer evil because the energy is going to take to run them and the batteries and all that.
Well, and we know that it's not going to make a lick of a difference.
To changing the climate.
At all. Zero. The amount of pollution that our cars put off is like 2 trips of a ocean liner across the Pacific or the Atlantic or wherever the fuck they go.
And it's sort of like cutting off our nose to spite our face, that we're suffering to make no difference.
Yeah, and we can clearly see that it's like become a platform and an agenda for you'll have bugs, you'll own nothing, and you'll like it. You know, it's one step away. If they can control the grid, then they can tell you when you can and can't drive. You just don't know it yet. They've already done it in California where they're like, sorry, nobody can recharge their cars today. Otherwise, we're going to crash the grid.
That hits different when you can't drive.
Yeah.
So be it.
Simon, first of all,
Well, what if you couldn't get to some like rave concert you wanted to go to?
There you go. Put it in his terms.
I think
thank you.
there'll be one every week, just in the allotted rave area. And if we fed the gray stuff.
There's one electric bus, that feeds you gruel
We'll
and
be
takes you
able
to the
to
rave area.
dance
Yeah.
forever because
Yeah.
they're going to implant our bodies with robotic parts to make us
Yeah.
more
No.
machine than man.
Yeah.
I
You have a
And
little
we're just going to
MDMA
be
drip.
able to, rave all day, party all night.
I would say 25%, maybe 20% of the people dance. Most people are just...
That's because they don't have the MDMA drip. Once
that's
everyone
right.
has that, it'll be in unison. Darude will be playing nonstop.
You're like 70 years old, but you're the fucking guy on
Yeah.
top of the speakers.
Yeah.
But
they rate your elbow like in rave. They're like, you'll get
no.
70,000 of these before you have to go get it serviced.
I got Chemical Brothers.
Before you
elbow.
have to recharge.
Yeah, yeah. I got Chemical Brothers elbow.
I have in technology and innovation, there always has to be a first. I mean, what really sucks is Nolan passes away next week. I don't know if you saw the guy with the big heart or something passed away. When there's a innovation, it was interesting when they talked about animal testing because we just don't want to know about it. But when they do stuff with animals, he's saying they have to kill them right away, halfway through, 3-way through, to see all the things. So this guy sort of could be seen as a hero or a pioneer in.
I mean, I felt terrible for him when he was talking about how he's like, yeah, if this trial just ends tomorrow, it's just like that's it, and this thing's just done for me. And you're like, that's gotta stink.
So thank you to him for taking this risk. And the best is he found out about it because his buddy was drunk.
That's the best.
And
Yeah.
just feeling down like we gotta do something. Hey man, you gotta check this out, and it all come to fruition.
Would you feel better about the animal testing if you knew that all the animals used in those experiments were grown at that lab, as opposed to like going out and capturing monkeys so you can test them in trials?
I feel fine about the animal testing because we're stupid not to do it.
Like you're making these animals to do this thing, as opposed to like going and stealing dolphins so you can.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I don't think we
whatever.
should do experiments on dolphins, but if it's dogs and monkeys, I don't care how you get them.
Hey,
You don't care how you get them.
No.
See, I'm against the harvesting outside of the lab, but if they're just growing them in the lab to then do that, I mean, I don't love it, but I feel way better about it.
Did you know I think it was the Chicago World's Fair, the incubator for babies has just become a new technology
okay.
for preemies and stuff, and they actually had premature babies as like a attraction at the fair.
That's insane.
It's insane, and it's true. You can look it up just in the news
Remember
articles.
at the Museum of Science and Technology?
I got to get out there again.
They don't have it anymore, but remember they had the chicks in the incubator in the middle of
Yeah, I
like
remember that, yeah.
and you could walk around
Yeah.
it and you could see all the. Was that at Science and Technology, or maybe it was the Museum of Man?
I don't think that was in Ottawa. That was at
No. It was definitely
Okay.
in Ottawa.
Is that inhumane?
It's not the one with the trains. It's the Museum of Science and
Science and
Technology.
Tech,
Yeah,
That's no big deal.
because they were showing you the incubator. That was the whole thing. So you're saying something like that, but it just had babies in it.
I was walking along the canal, and
already done.
they put up all these black strips right along the water's edge around Dow's Lake.
Racist.
Yeah.
And when you get close, you see it's all ducks. It's their little chill area, and they have little babies and stuff. And I look at them. That's all right. I just animals it makes sense to test them for us to be safer,
Have you heard that we can hunt?
and humans too.
We can hunt Canadian geese again.
Really?
Yeah, there are so many geese that they've made it so you can.
That's so weird.
because it
Someone-
used to be illegal to hunt them.
No, I know. Someone 2 days ago was like, God, I wish I could hunt geese.
I think that was me, wasn't it?
No, it was
Oh.
not you.
Because they shit everywhere.
It came up because I was like, someone was like, yeah, I'm going to Blues Fest next week. And I was like, are you? I was like, you're just going to be hanging out with all the geese because Blues Fest isn't for another 2 weeks.
And-
And then someone was like, I wish I could fucking kill those geese. And that's how it came up. But that's weird.
And you just have to figure out a holiday to associate the goose with. So we all eat roasted goose on Pride Week or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? Pick
Oh,
a.
that's good. Give it to the gays. They'll make it a good dish.
Are they delicious?
Well, I imagine so. It must be like a giant
Once the
duck.
gays get their hands on it, it's going to
Kamar,
be
like a real
fabulous.
dark meat bird.
So he said the brain moves.
That's a real dog meat bird.
A real dark meat bird. BBG, if you must.
Nolan.
BMG.
Nolan was talking
No,
about.
Big Black.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Simon. Go ahead, Kamar.
No, you want Simon to keep going because he's on fire.
I am on fire. He wants to stifle me.
It's true.
Nolan said they have these receptors that are smaller than a human hair.
I think we all have them.
We're in but these are the things that connect
yeah,
the little
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I imagine it looks like a quarter, and some of them pulled out because the brain moves,
Yeah.
sort of throbbing. And I've talked about when I've done DMT, I hear a constant rhythmic sound that's the exact same.
You think that's your brain throbbing?
I do.
So is the brain like actively repelling these little, like they're trying to get in to attach this connection and the brain is pushing them out?
I think they might be sort of static and not that flexible.
But the brain is actively pushing this out, is what you're saying.
No, I feel like they put him in thinking that there was no tide and it pulls out, then it comes in, and that sort of tension maybe makes them break. To think of something being a wire smaller than human hair, it's hard to grasp.
Sorry, can you answer me?
I can't.
You don't remember what they said?
No, I can't wrap my head around it.
He said they lost connection because it turns out the brain
That's what he
moves,
said.
so
He
they
said-
didn't account for
He
it.
did say the
he's
brain
assuming
moves.
that the brain's moving. I'm saying that the brain is actively repelling.
Dr.
this
Dr.
organism.
Andisman over here.
Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I can imagine that your brain doesn't want a bunch of little tendrils.
Well, what's
inside it.
interesting is if
I
you,
love your dad actually plays a brain doctor. You could just ask him.
I could.
if you got something in your skin or something, it'd probably get infected. I mean, usually that's the body's reaction to a foreign.
Well, that is what it
object.
does, Kamar, is it pushes it out. Have you ever got a splinter before? It creates pus underneath, so it pushes that piece of wood.
And that's you-
that's what I think is
You're,
going on.
you're arguing with the diagnosis from the experts that have done that. Great, man. I mean, you can't take anything off the table.
The diagnoses from the experts who work for Elon Musk.
Well, okay, that's a weird. Yeah, I mean that's a weird.
But the brain is
Is
Like,
it?
listen,
is
let's.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
You
let-
don't think Elon Musk storms through the fucking lab just like, these are the results I'm looking for. Who's got them for me?
I just want
Possible. It's possible.
to, Simon. I think you and I need to reserve. He could just be a good guy trying to help out. I know we both think he's an evil billionaire, and we're probably right because that's where I like to live. However, like if let's say Neuralink in 20 years is helping people walk again who have spinal injuries, helping blind people see, deaf people hear, like who gives a fuck?
I guess I'll cut him a break at that point.
Well, do you not deserve to be one of the richest people in the world if you have accomplished that?
And if you do that, you can also in turn cut Joe a break for cutting Elon slack and realize Joe doesn't care what you care about who he has on. And I
already realized that.
It must be.
Joe doesn't care about what I care about?
Sorry, I'm glad you're sitting down.
Breaking news.
But
Fucking
just
guy.
how the guests come and go, people's schedule. It is what it is. It's random.
Are you talking about who he has on the show?
Yeah. I feel when you open up with a Joe has just lost it and completely thrown it away. But
No, I just said I think he thinks he's doing us a favor. And this is I
not
know
a favor. Sorry.
Was that you? It sounded like Matt threw his voice.
How are you blaming this on me?
Back me up, Matt.
Solidarity.
So he is lost. He's a paraplegic, which is the worst kind of.
Whoa, go on.
The worst kind of
what?
pelegic?
No,
The worst kind of what?
No, he's a quadriplegic. I
Yeah.
said paraplegic.
Yeah.
Quadriplegic is the worst
Yeah.
kind.
The worst kind
Paras,
of the
not
worst
as
kind
bad.
of pelagic.
No, the worst kind of swimmer.
I thought he was going to say human, but I was leaving the door wide open for him, you know? Swimmer makes more sense.
Pelagic. Paraplegic.
Pelagic. It's the worst of the pelagics.
Are we pelagic?
What a great way to introduce yourself. Paraplegic.
But are we all pelagic?
You're Norma.
Yeah, I'm a pelagic, yeah.
We're
Norma
pelagic because we
pelagic.
haven't lost
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And if you lose something, it's para. Then you lose it all, it's para. It's
Quadra,
quad.
yeah.
Is there nothing in between? It's just para to quadra
Yeah.
to. There's 3 states of pelagics.
That's interesting. Like someone lost, like they were quadra, but then they got one arm back.
So what are
So
you
now they're
then?
like a triplegic.
No, it'd be like a
Yeah, tri.
quarter pelagic.
Okay. No.
If you only have one arm, that's
Oh, I
bad.
got you. Okay.
know?
Yeah.
No, pelagic has something to do with living on the open sea. But anyways,
Which is ironic because they can't swim.
he was talking about how he has a good sense of people and their questions, like people trying to get him to say something bad about Elon or something. Because you imagine if those senses are taken away, your brain is more acute as a bullshit reader. You assume.
Yeah, usually my right hand is the bullshit reader. You're right. If I lost all my, what are you talking about?
I always thank you for questioning me because I don't always know. Daredevil,
Yeah.
lost his sight and his other senses.
You're talking about a comic book character right now. What the fuck is happening here?
Life imitates art.
First of all, what sense?
Sorry, do you know what I'm
He
going
didn't
with this?
lose any sense.
Who?
This guy,
He's the sense of touch.
he can still feel like if you touch his face, he can feel that you're touching him.
I thought this was a good time to also bring up. Do you think there's actually
This is what happens. He dodges it.
It's so amazing that he just compared him to Daredevil.
there's a sense
Oh my
there's a sense
God.
of taste
Yeah.
and you assume food.
Okay.
But what about clothing, movies, food? Just taste and things.
Like, what does my clothes taste like?
I don't think that's the type of taste they're talking about,
I
my
think
friend.
I think it's all
Also,
factions
do you
of
think
the
this guy
sense
lost?
of
Do you think
taste.
this guy lost his fashion ability when he broke his spine?
He can't wear nice sneakers
Well,
because he has no feeling below
yeah.
the legs. You're retarded.
By what I'm saying,
Once I broke my spine, they put me in Crocs, and it was Crocs forever.
by my take, he should be a really snazzy dresser.
Are you wearing Lululemon pants right now? Like,
I feel terrible that we're making so much fun of this gentleman. I felt really bad for him when, like,
we're not Kamar.
it's true.
Oh, you guys are feeling bad for him.
I just want to say
I'm calling this guy a hero, a legend, a pioneer. I don't know.
You're trying to insinuate that he's some sort of superhero, first of all.
No, I'm trying to think. When you lose something, you must gain something. And it must be something mental. Like a sense of people and their intentions. I'm just assuming. I don't know. He sort of said he did that, though. Do you think the good of this outweighs the bad?
The potential good. What's the bad of this? I don't get it.
Well, when they get into talking about it becomes everywhere mainstream and someone controls it.
I think on its way to destroying humanity, it'll probably do some people good in the meantime.
And learn some things about the brain that could help other things like...
But the end result is going to be that we all get farmed for our organs by the machines. So
I think my problem is that
it doesn't really matter how you get there, you know?
E class 62HT1 seems to be taking a break. A little Rexy, change the music.
I think he's run out of MDMA. There must be a clog in the tube.
he always does this. He laughs himself into a tizzy, and then he's lost.
He's saying he can play video games without any motor skills.
That is crazy.
And he's going to play tournaments and not tell people because there's still the
I like how well, it's funny because when he said that, I was like, all the big tournaments are done in person. So I'm like, I was like, I just love the thought that he's like, they won't know. He hasn't moved an inch. He's just getting 100 kills.
So wait, let me get this straight. This guy can think about like shooting in the video game and he shoots. He thinks about turning left and he turns left.
Correct.
yeah.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
It is crazy because to thumb like you can't imagine all those decisions you're making when you're playing a video game. with
His
your hands.
thumbs aren't actually moving though, are they?
No, he can't move his thumbs.
Yeah, who's the asshole?
No, I'm
kidding.
I'm
Sam.
saying there's no
No, he was saying, Simon, he was like,
the system bypasses this
Yes.
to get to this.
what he said was that there was times where he felt like it was faster than his thought. Like, as in, like, because I guess it is, like, I mean, look, they say that when you play video games, you should stay plugged in because it's less latency lost, right? Like the Bluetooth from the controller to the thing slows down. Every little decision matters. So imagine this guy, like, if I'm like, I want to look right, I got to move my thumb and then the thing goes in. This guy's just like, he even thinks like, should I look right? And it's automatically like, we're looking right. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Same thing, the shoot, like you're like, shoot. Like it's instantaneous.
Yeah, I mean that'll be good for war, I imagine.
Just with all the things, like when they break down how a football player or a quarterback, all the calculations and stuff he does in a second to meet up with that guy running that, or a golfer to get there, all this stuff just a bit faster already than already. So this guy's paraplegic, but if you had all your, I don't even understand.
It would suck too. Imagine you're quadriplegic and they hook you up to the game and you're still getting dusted by 12-year-old Korean kids. Like you're like, I'm literally main veining this game right now and I
least you're in the
still
game.
can't fucking win.
What would be wild if there's an eventual sync up and you have a robot bodyguard. They can just direct.
A surrogate.
A surrogate.
That would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. An important thing to note is that his body is deteriorated to a point that it can't.
Yeah, that was crazy. I never thought of that.
It
The
wouldn't matter
atrophy.
if you had surgery. I'm sure maybe 10 years from now it'll be different, but if you don't use your body, it just deteriorates. It's just a fact. It's one of the truths of life.
You're like a brain in a jar at that point.
At the same time, though, he doesn't know, like, if they shot every area affected, if they shot it up with enough stem cells, might, like, with the proper PT and exercise and stuff, you might be able to. We don't know what the future holds.
Or maybe if the protocol is, conceived right when this happens to someone, as preventing atrophy. But I think even living people, if you aren't active and you aren't moving, it'll happen to you to a much lesser degree because you are somewhat moving.
That's a good point, though, Kamar. They're like, you never know in the future too. They could hook this, like, you could become a quadriplegic, and day one they hook you up to a machine where for an hour a day it's moving your arms, right? So like you're not controlling it, but for the pure like muscle movement, I'm just saying maybe
if you're suspended in liquid as well, that might be a different. Maybe that
I
saves
feel like
your joints.
I'm crying.
Your whole body would go all prune fingers.
Ooh, brother. Ooh.
What I hope is that this is somewhere when they talk about how small these fibers are, the ultimate like nanotechnology. Mm-hmm. So these nanobots, just inject them. Like you have a case and something happens, you inject it and they fix you from the inside on a cellular level. Like you said, I won't be alive for that, but
yeah, like,
this is a breakthrough.
I like that thing in Prometheus, that fucking thing everyone just has, where you lay in it and just all your ailments are gone.
Right now, I guess that's the cold plunge. But I think most importantly, it's for someone to listen to this podcast themselves, because we all have our own take on it.
Well, yeah. You should also, you know what? Every once in a while, these are good because you really got to take stock. Like, we all bitch and moan about our day to day. Tomorrow, you could not be able to walk and be a burden on everyone in your life, and
And this guy's not a woe is me at all.
No, he wasn't. That was the hardest part, was hearing him be like, I am, like, dude, that was tough. It was tough. This is a tough listen. I now stand by this was a better week than the 2 I gave it.
I think that it's a testament and inspiration that the human mind is conditioned to, no matter what happens to you, like, get on with it.
Yeah, fight
Suck
through.
it
Yeah.
up,
Don't die.
because you can't run from it.
No.
You got no legs.
That's terrible. He's in the right spot though right now. I know he may not be in this trial forever, but I imagine this is like as groundbreaking as it gets.
That's what I said off the top.
Even then, it sounds like when he gets out of the trial, Joe's going to hook him up with some stem cell people who might be able to help him a little bit. You never know.
He could also go on Kill Tony.
I feel like Joe was saying he would make the introduction, not necessarily that he was paying for the.
Joe's like, I have a T-shirt idea that might be able to help you get the stem cells.
That's right. That's right.
That's all I got for this, boys. I give it a 4.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I mean, like you, Matt, I think my minus 1.5 may have been a little.
Definitely egregious. Definitely.
He may be jumping on a grenade. If we learn something from this.
No, listen, I don't go that far. Like, if I'm in his position, I'm going to do anything short of like going to India for something. What
does he have to lose?
That's what I'm saying. If an American company is like, we have this breakthrough technology that could change your life, of course I'm going to do it. I'll jump on that grenade 10 times out of 10.
And if this podcast was to get this guy, people to donate to him, or like, that's amazing. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I just don't love that it ends up also being a commercial for Elon Musk. That, I think, is where the...
I mean, again, I'm torn because, like, if Neuralink is what it is touted to be. In closing, I wanted to say this. It's real. Like, we live in a world where the biggest, richest companies on earth get hacked. And so it's pretty fucking dicey to imagine, unless you're in this guy's position, it's pretty dicey to imagine just putting an implant in your head.
The one glaring thing about this is...
No?
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah.
And yet there'd be a lineup of people around the block to do it.
all
No,
the
of course
people who
there
want to
would.
go to Mars.
But you know what I mean? Like, when you hear that an 18-year-old hacked the CIA, you're like, well, obviously someone can hack into one of these things if they really felt, you know what I mean?
Let alone who's making them, and is there a back door of some? Have they given that to the government? Like, listen, he has to do it because he's in a position where he probably doesn't have a lot of options.
He's not being forced to do it. But this podcast came in at an hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's because he can't sit and talk like that for a while.
I imagine that was more it.
Because Joe didn't want to talk about any hot topics, so to speak, with him. It was just about the one thing, which doesn't always happen when he does these podcasts. They don't usually stick to one through line, but that's all he wanted to know about.
Well, imagine he's like, "What do you think about Palestine?" This guy's like, "Fuck the Jews."
But I think this is historic, and everyone should listen to it just for that reason.
By the way, that reminds me. Go to say the next name so we can start. But I want to say something.
2165 Jackie Carr.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Cloudflare, they're the company that handles most of the internet security on Earth. You've heard of them, I'm sure. No one? Anyone?
I haven't heard of Cloudflare.
Okay, I'm sure you've clicked on a Cloudflare button to get on some website. Anyway, the point is this. They have at their headquarters, this is insane, they have at their headquarters like 100 lava lamps on display. And those lava lamps control the algorithm that keeps the internet safe. Isn't that fucking lunacy?
What do you mean the lava lamps control?
So they have a camera or multiple cameras that are on the lava lamps at all times. And the cameras are hooked up to this thing that tracks the movement of all the lava lamps. And the lava lamps control the algorithm that keeps the internet safe. Because they say it's impossible to hack because it's completely random. Because there's so many of them and they never do the same thing twice, right? So the pure randomness of it makes it almost impossible to
how
hack.
the balls break up, and it's totally random because there's a whole wall of
Precisely,
them.
exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that nuts? So the internet is literally being kept safe by an invention that was made while looking for the cure for cancer. Isn't that fucking wild?
That's how the lava lamp was made?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they? They were trying to find a cure for cancer, and they invented the lava lamp. Really?
Yeah.
That's sounds so fucking fishy. And now I find out that lava lamps are kind of controlling
keeping the internet
most
safe.
important thing
Yeah.
in the universe.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? The world's nuts.
What's inside a lava lamp? It's wax, right?
I believe, yeah, it's paraffin wax. Yeah.
And a little element at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because you know
Keeping
what's very much
piping
like
hot.
a lava lamp?
Go on.
Liquid mercury.
Okay. Well, you can just say mercury.
No, mercury can be a solid or a liquid.
Yeah, but at room temperature, it's a liquid. And most of the time.
Anyways.
Okay.
It's at room temperature. I think it's a little below room temperature.
You know you can't handle mercury.
Well, you can. You shouldn't.
It's dangerous.
It's toxic.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about Sir Isaac Newton was working with it. Like they found mercury in his hair and stuff. And just so that would lead you to believe that he was actually just crazy.
Everybody was getting high off their own supply
splashing it
back
around.
then.
You don't know what's going on. Like, look.
You find out that like Darwin was sitting under the tree because he was nodding out on fucking heroin or something.
Wasn't that Newton?
It wasn't important for the
Hey, I'm
joke.
sorry. Okay.
Just the guy under the tree with
Yeah.
the apples. Yeah, Newton. Yeah. Was it Newton?
It was Newton. Sir Isaac
Newton was the
Newton.
light bulb guy.
No, that was Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin.
Edison.
Edison is the light bulb guy.
No, I don't know. Jack Carr, back to the author,
was Edison,
ex-Navy SEAL, was talking about, I don't know if you've heard, but it's going around that Woody Harrelson doesn't have
I think
a
we
phone.
were really disrespectful to the
We were.
wheelchair
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, listen,
I think
it's,
you
it's
guys
labeled
were.
as a comedy podcast. No, you were the worst.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
All
you
I
were
said was
pretty
he
bad.
couldn't swim. That is a true fact.
You were the one
You don't know
calling
that.
him those people and saying things like that.
Out of love. You roast the ones you love.
Chicken nugget.
I have a bomb.
Woody Harrelson doesn't have a phone.
Okay.
Could you imagine that existence? Even though you've experienced it, but going back to that?
Do I still get an iPad?
It
Because
can-
if I still get an iPad, then I can get rid of
I was
my phone.
just going
no
to say,
problem.
I don't make phone calls. I don't take phone
Yeah.
calls. I
Well, there
rarely
you go.
answer texts.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
His point is he doesn't like the idea of any human being able to get a hold of him at any time.
Okay, perfect. I just want a thing to get me to the internet.
Yeah.
And then you could get a flip phone.
I don't even need the flip phone. I'll go back to having a landline.
Well, you should do that now.
By the way, iPads are, I've never owned an iPad, which is odd now that I say it out loud. They're fucking insane now. They're absolutely
their capabilities.
It is, yeah, it's lunacy. It's crazy.
What does that mean?
What you can do. Like, it used to be an iPad, like it had limited
Ran a couple
functionality,
apps,
in
play
my
a couple
opinion.
games.
Yeah, in my opinion, it wasn't. Like, now with the pen and all the apps that they have, it's fucking nuts.
Really?
It does everything
it's
a phone
crazy.
does.
With a bigger screen.
With a bigger screen, and you can use a stylus on it.
But the bigger screen makes the difference because, like, you can literally right now, I'm not kidding you, with an iPad, you could run a full television production, multicam television production. You need cameras as well. That's
and know how to use it.
sure. Honestly, no, I disagree. With AI right now, if you got 3 cameras on smart tripods with like tracking capability, I'm a fucking monkey could run a television.
I was listening to this guy
right
on a podcast. He said, I just spent all this money on this stuff and I need someone to tell me how to use it because I just can't read the instructions. I need someone to actually show me how to do it. But so you switched to the flip phone, which contributed to the changing of the language with short forms.
Yeah, LOLs.
It's like accepted thing. There's no one to step in and say, no, that's improper language because it's just communication. It's not.
Do you use those when you text?
Not really. No, I don't.
I only
You're
use
big on
them because
LOL.
I'm such a terrible texter.
I-
It takes me a long time to write things, so
I give out people smiling with tears, just like
Oh yeah, I dropped that one. A lot, yeah.
Anything, like-
Emoticons. Yeah.
if that makes you feel
my
good.
new favorite thing is now I know that you can just hold on the text and give it either a thumbs up or a heart or which is not even an emoji. It's like,
Just I love that for you.
I like
that's
that
great.
I don't know if I told you guys this last week. This is interesting. I found this out, and it goes to that language thing that you're talking about. Americans, do you know why they spell things differently? Like favor, flavor.
because they're shorter.
Canceled.
Is that why?
No, so it's actually because early on, forever in
It's the British.
well, no. So the British used to spell like canceled has 2 L's.
Yeah, so they were trying to go against the.
No, it has to do with advertising. So advertising in the States has always been per letter. So in the States, they started shortening words where they were like, we can get rid of the extra L in canceled. We can get rid of the U in favor. We can get rid of stuff like that. And
So
then it
it'll
just
be
stuck.
like 5 cents cheaper.
That's what I'm saying. And so it's stuck. And now the Americans spell stuff however they spell it. Isn't that interesting? So like, again, like you're talking about, there is a good chance that in the future, a lot of words are just condensed to like acronyms almost or sentences.
Hear the thunder out there, Kamar?
Yeah.
Not looking good for.
Why? It's going
Don't
to
be
be
an
a
asshole.
wet t-shirt contest out there.
Don't be a hater. Yes. Do you hear what the one
His
about
eyes lit up like Christmas.
the woman goes to do the obituary and she goes, yeah, I'd like to save as much money as possible. And he goes, okay, what do you want to say? He goes, Lewis died. And he goes, well, ma'am, it's a 5-word minimum. She goes, Lewis died, car for sale.
That's classic.
Do you guys think you could ride roller coasters now?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I don't.
I could. I just have
Of course you
zero
can do anything.
interest.
I feel
Here's the
that
thing.
way.
I can
Zero.
The jolting and
No.
Zero.
I can tell you for a fact. You could both do like the.
I
big,
know I could.
No. Just the big drop loop ones. You both would be fine doing. It's the anything like you're saying. The herky jerky ones will make you pukey. Mary and I went to Wonderland like 4 years ago. We did all the big ones, no problem. We went on a smaller one that had like a lot of this and a lot of like fucking back and forths. And as soon as we got off that one, I was like, I think I might puke.
But zero part of that seems fun to me anymore.
Roller coasters don't
Roller
seem fun to you?
coasters,
That's
yeah,
so weird. I
no,
still
at
love
all,
love
at all.
roller
Would you go
coasters.
to the X and get on a Gravitron?
No, the Gravitron will make me puke immediately.
That's
I
over.
hate the Gravitron.
But you went on it.
That's the one that spins around really
I
fast.
remember being too
holds you
young to get on the
thing.
Gravitron.
Is that the
And-
Gravitron?
Yeah,
No.
it just
Spins
spins,
in- it
and
just
then
spins
all
in
of a
a
sudden you
circle.
can lean forward and sort of.
No. The terrible one at the X was the
zipper.
zipper.
The zipper, yeah,
That thing was horrible.
because it's not that
zipper was
special.
wild.
It's nothing to look at.
No, but what it's doing is
but when you get there, and then we're
the
going this
whole-
way. No, you're not. You're going that way.
each thing spins and then the whole thing spins. It's just a recipe for disaster. But I told you about my thing with the roller coasters, right?
I don't know.
I went to Canada's Wonderland in
Toronto, yeah.
Toronto in grade 6 with our band. That
Yeah.
was like why you joined
Hopewell,
band
yeah.
or Hopewell, grade 7, I
Yeah,
guess.
it was 7 and 8, yeah.
So
The band
we
trip?
went on the pirate ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's not the pirate ship. The pirate ship goes like this and then stops up top, but you're not upside down.
Yeah.
I went on one that it was the pirate ship, but you go upside down.
Yeah, I'm with
so
you.
it like stalls at the top and everybody. Okay. So as they're putting the safety harnesses on everybody, you know, they come by and check
Yeah.
and they like push down to click it to make sure that it sets. I guess for whatever reason, maybe the guy did it and it didn't do it or whatever.
Yeah.
So when we got going, I could feel the thing instead of like clicking one more, it clicked one less. So there was now a little bit of room between
give,
my
yeah.
thing, which I'm sure wasn't a big deal.
But
Like,
in your head,
but in my head, I thought I was going to die. So as we're upside down, I'm literally like trying to defy gravity by pushing my butt up into the seats
yeah.
to try and keep myself in. And then finally I couldn't do it anymore. And I went and I thought I was going to die. And then it just clicked and it wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean? But ever since then, I can't do anything where it like
I did the
goes upside down like that. I don't mind like the loop-de-loops as
Would you
much.
do the ejector chair? I did that with my dad.
No,
Oh, it's so much
Where
fun.
it takes you to the top and then drops you.
No, it's the one where it like, so the one I did was it's got like the two giant poles and they're attached to like elastics.
Oh yeah, no.
And so you're like attached to a
It's like
hook
a
on the
bungee.
ground. Yeah. And they go top. Yeah.
No.
It lets go and you shoot the fuck
It's
up.
like- yeah, no.
No, that was fun.
I mean, I would do it if you like put a gun to my head, but I
would you
wouldn't,
bungee
like-
jump right now?
No.
Like the Great Canadian Bungee? No,
I
you
would
wouldn't do it?
never bungee jump.
Not over water?
Never.
Over water?
I would rather.
Hold on. Over water?
I would rather jump out of an airplane than bungee jump.
No, you would not.
I think I do. Yeah, I would
I'll
rather.
say it again.
skydive
I'll say it
than
again.
Bungee jump.
Over water.
I like that you think that at that force coming down, the water is not going to be a
okay, hold on, stop.
solid brick wall.
When you bungee, short of you not being attached to anything, there's always going to be something that like, there's going to be some pull. So you're probably only falling like max 20, 30 feet into the water.
If you're coming down
Yeah.
and it breaks,
Yeah.
and full speed hitting the water is going to be like
When
you
are you,
hitting.
but when are you going to
a
full speed?
floor.
When are you going to full speed hit the water?
If the bungee cord breaks.
If the bungee cord breaks,
Yeah. But again, if it breaks, you realize that like if I hold a string right now and it's got like, it's almost about to break.
forget it breaks.
Yes.
What if you just weren't connected?
You're not falling as fast as
if
you
you
think.
weren't
Thank you.
connected properly, Matt.
That's the,
No.
I said that's the only
if
one.
If it breaks right off the top, that could happen. But what he's saying, if it breaks,
I understand there's
You're
going to
not.
be resistance, but what if it's just like they clipped you in badly?
Just
and
hear
you
me
get
out.
to the bottom.
You
and-
won't fly in a plane. So I have a tough time believing that given the choice right now, like Simon, we're going to give you $1 million to either go skydiving. So you have to jump from, again, like 10,000 feet, or you can 150-foot bungee jump just outside of Ottawa into a quarry.
Well, one of two things are going to happen with the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, you're going to have to jump with somebody else. You're going to be attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would have to do. And that's easier than making myself jump off a bungee platform.
Interesting.
At least somebody's physically doing it.
So you're going to do the gay tandem jump over bungee
I don't
jumping.
love it. I don't want to do any of it, Matt.
So in the tandem jump, do you get attached face to face, or are you?
69.
Oh wow, that's a good look.
head to
That's a
crotch.
good look. I like
Face
that.
to face,
I like that.
head to
Especially when
crotch.
you're coming down to the ground, too. You get the weird upside down view. That's fucking.
No, I
sick.
definitely want him to be holding me. I want to be the little spoon.
Yeah.
Just normal little spoon.
Go ahead, Kamar.
Kamar hates this when
No,
it's not about him.
Yeah,
No,
if he's
no,
not
no,
making the
nothing
bit,
to add.
if he hasn't done
None
the
of
bit,
his jokes
yeah.
are hitting.
I was waiting to step in and say I've never gone bungee cord jumping.
Bungee cord jumping
Bungee
or just
jumping.
bungee jumping?
Did you say you had gone?
You know what? I haven't done bungee jumping. I did, like I said, I did the ejector chair. If you want to go, I'll
You
go this
think
summer.
the ejector chair is
To the-
the
to the
same
quarry?
as
The
The Great
bungee
Canadian
jump?
one. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You
down.
two are going to do it.
Bucket list.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. Over the quarry.
Yeah, I'm down,
That's
yeah.
deep.
I think
and
that's a
you-
terrific
Are you dipping
idea.
or not?
Is it optional?
Yeah, because they have control
dipping,
over how
I'm
much.
dipping.
Yeah, I'm dipping too.
Because,
For sure.
because whenever I drive past there or I'm in a car that's driving past there, I think it's good luck if you see someone.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Yeah,
Jump,
out the window
jump
looking
and
back.
not die. That's always a good. But I think you guys should totally do that. I wonder if you guys could jump down together holding hands or something.
Oh, I'm the king of the world.
Would you guys
Like
go?
synchro bungee.
Would you guys go to the water park, Camelot or whatever it's called?
Escapade.
No.
I'd be much more likely to do a water park than.
What's it called?
Well, there's Mont Cascade. That's not the one you're talking about, though.
means,
You mean the big
dog,
one?
The big dog.
What the hell is it called?
Camden Yards. No. I don't.
Why can't I think of it either? This is tough.
Oh my
Because I
god!
said the wrong name.
You know what's
A,
funny? Right now, Pat
B,
Murray's listening to this podcast
C.
3 days from now, and he's
You
yelling
think it's
it.
a C, obviously.
I don't know.
You think it's a C because of Cascade?
Yes, maybe you're right.
No, hold on.
It's something with an E.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
You
like
look it up.
Escapade or.
No,
I think you're stuck on Escapade
because
too.
you're so
see?
jealous. But
Oh, I had it.
Joe was talking about the
Cypress something.
VR sandbox.
Yeah.
Which I hope someone opens up one of those, because that seems like a new sort of thing you could do as an attraction. I told you, we've talked about me going out of the escape room.
Would you want to play in one of those giant sandboxes, where you get to operate the tractor and you go around
That seems like it might be
digging
fun.
holes and dropping cars and
It starts with a C.
Calypso.
Calypso.
Oh, Calypso. Oh, Calypso.
That's weird. How is that all you needed was me to say it starts with a C?
I do that all the time. If I can't remember
CA.
somebody's name,
That's so
my mom
interesting.
taught me it. I do
That's
the
so funny.
alphabet game.
That's so funny.
Sometimes it really works.
It starts with a C. Calypso.
Because I told you
It was
guys,
right on the tip of my tongue.
I would
said,
go- what?
I said Cypress.
Who
That
wouldn't
was
go to
so
Calypso?
close.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't have a Calypso
Simon
body.
doesn't
but-
like crowds.
I don't like crowds.
It's best
but
to
if,
go on a
if we
rainy
went
day.
on like a day that wasn't, I mean, the idea now of like bathing in other people's water doesn't
Yeah,
really
see,
appeal
Simon
to
all
me
of a sudden is
either.
talking himself out of it. Because there's the one where there's the one where you go down a tube. And
Well, it was getting real
drops
for a
almost
second.
vert and then goes up.
Yeah.
The problem with Calypso is the stairs are insane.
Well, but that's every water park.
They should have elevators. So he's here to do
They should have elevators.
a non-fiction book.
He's sitting high too. I don't know if you know.
He's been sitting high the whole fucking podcast. It's a power move. I get it.
They talked about Tyler Perry trying to invest $800 million into a studio, and he halted it based just on what happened on Sora.
The thing he's talking about, like they're adding it to Adobe Premiere, and here's what it's actually crazy. I wanted to mention this. Adobe, who got famous off photographers, like Adobe, they make Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere. Yeah. They have a headquarters here in Ottawa. They literally made their nut off photographers. If it weren't for photographers paying them the 26, 30, 100 a month, whatever it is, because you can't buy Adobe. You have to pay them monthly. That's the whole deal. They came out this week with like this big ad campaign where they were like, our new AI, you don't even need photographers. And photographers are like, are you guys fucking kidding us? Like, is this for real? Like, we made your company and now you're saying literally like, hey, guess what? Skip the photographer. Just use the AI we've created.
That sounds about right.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Ultimate capitalism.
That sounds about right.
Did I tell you guys I went to the escape room?
Yeah. Last week. Yeah.
Multiple times.
Would it be cool if they have one where like a water main breaks and the person is going, this is not supposed to happen. I'm sorry. You have to sign an NDA.
You think you're dying?
Kamar, you know what? Something-
Kamar, you don't have a family. We're using you as a
You
raft.
can't tell anyone that.
Oddly enough, there's a problem with that. We had a room where you would act like you were locking them up, and then you'd be like, oh man, something happened. And then you'd walk out and like slam the door. But you had started the timer like a second before you slammed the door. I can't tell you how many groups
Just waiting for you to come
would
back.
stand around for 10 or 15 minutes looking at their watches like, this schmo's not coming back.
That's
is
on
he?
you because you didn't sell it.
Oh, Kamar, that was the other thing I wanted to say. I don't know if you've seen this. They have water parks now, VR water parks.
Or you just
No, you're actually going. So you're in. It's weird. You're in a tube with water, but you put on this headset, and like the visuals are insane. Like you're in space in one of them, or like
And
it's
you're
like,
going down the-
and you're actually going down. Like one of them is like Donkey Kong.
there
Like
isn't
you're on
much
the.
to look at when you're in a tube.
There
No, there's
are escape rooms. Like I think there's one in the city. Actually, I know there's one in the city where it's like multiple levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you like climb a ladder because the zombies have come down on the main level and you have to get up through the
And
ceiling.
solve all the problems.
So just to add a little
Yeah.
more to the whole thing.
That sounds interesting. I just want to. Yeah, you ask for a clue and it just goes. Give me all the money. Dance Revolution, hilarious. I don't see it much, but whenever you go to a movie, there was some guy who was the master of the Dance
Asian,
Revolution.
not some guy.
No,
Asian.
I saw white
No,
guys
no.
in ponytails. Don't turn this into a race thing. You have never seen the people who are just masters.
Oh no, I
of
have.
Dance
I just.
Revolution?
Why are you talking about Dance Revolution?
they brought it
They were talking about it,
they
and then
were?
Joe was talking about how it's great to keep you in
him and
shape.
Jim Carr.
Him and Jack Carr. but
Jack Carr.
I'm sure his friends call him Jim.
No, that's not even the right one, is it? Jack and Jim?
I'm a Jack.
Is that right?
Is Jack Jim? Well, what
No,
is
Jim is James.
Jim is James.
Or Jack.
Or
James
Jack.
is
No.
Jack.
Yeah, I think.
I
you
don't
can-
think so. I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
can-
just James.
Anyways, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
what is Jack then?
Jack.
Jack has no,
No.
other.
No.
I don't
It's
believe
like-
that.
it's not like
they all
Dick.
did. All those old strong names had like Dick and Richard,
I just said that.
Jack and James.
No, it's Jim and James. Bob and Robert. It's another one.
Yeah, Bobbert.
Bobby. Go ahead, Kamar. I'm so sorry.
Joe was proposing that the muse might be aliens sending ideas, and there's nowhere clear about the muse, and it's probably unintentional with like songs, because one of the biggest things is like heartbreak. So someone has to fuck someone over for someone to be in a position to write the words of that feeling.
I think maybe Matt has talked about this before, but it would make sense if the aliens were the AI, and it was the way it gets us to accept it is to first become things like social media and all these great gadgets, just about it kind of being the idea, you know what I mean? That's
I don't think it was on this one, but they talked about being trapped. Some aliens are here, trapped. I mean, everyone was talking about last week that aliens are among us.
trapped
and they come from
because
the
they
moon,
can't get off the planet.
and they are sending out clues and whatever. And it's just, this is a long process to get these guys to do what we need to get out of here.
Well,
Dude,
that's
that you know what? That would be a great plot for like a comedy where like some alien comes down, wasn't doing well back home, came down, crashed, was like, oh no, I can't get home. Realized like these people are dumb as shit. Like I could just be the best billionaire. Like it could be Elon Musk. Like I have
I
a
was
weird
just gonna
body.
say, you just described Elon Musk.
Like I have a weird body, but like I'm just gonna fuck Earth chicks and hang out and smoke weed.
Sounds like the Anunnaki.
Because people forget.
It's like our history. Yeah. It's been happening since the beginning of time. I'm sorry, Kamar.
people forget Superman's an alien.
Yeah. An alien who was great at everything. There was nothing that Superman couldn't do. I don't know if you guys read the comics,
He was just
but
good at
like
everything.
he was just good at everything.
Well, I assume, yeah.
But like, are you guys watching The Boys new season?
No.
There's a part of it where he makes, you know, what's his name? The Superman character? Homelander. He like makes some guy decide either play me in this contest or just kill yourself, you know? And the guy just ends up killing himself. Spoiler alert. And then Homelander does the whatever. I wasn't really watching, like a ring toss or something. And he misses. And he's like, oh, he should have played against me. Meaning that like he wasn't great at everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Superman was great at everything. Archery, fucking, he could run the best. He could
Because of the
play all the
radiation of our sun,
sports.
apparently. Was it the second one where the bad guys are trapped in the dimensional pain that just wallows?
That was
through
number 3, I think.
number
Or
3.
Superman 3 or 4.
And then they come
Which
to
one was with
wreak
Richard
havoc.
Pryor? 2,
Would
right?
Superman help foreigners? Or is he just like US based?
Well, this is it. He's an alien. He's not even US
It
based.
depends
He's brought
on.
No, he's US based, yeah.
It depends on the storyline. I think in the old ones he would help mostly America because that was kind of the
Like
a
he
lot
could
of those
speak Mandarin,
comics-
right? Like you said, he was good at everything. So like I
Well,
assume Superman could speak Mandarin.
Yeah, he could
of
speak
course.
all the
Yeah,
languages.
okay.
But I'm saying like those first comic books were actually brought about like Captain America. That was all war propaganda.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would make sense. Are you rushing me?
I was just I'm doing my job as the producer editor of the show.
War propaganda. So it makes sense that Superman at that point would also be some war propaganda.
Yeah.
I imagine that comic books kind of go with the times. So there must have been a time when he was helping other countries or America in other countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he was pretty much an America First guy.
Now he'd be trans.
Because they also had like British superheroes, and I imagine they had Japanese.
G'day, my T-Man.
Well, they did have Japanese superheroes like Sunfire. He was an Asian fella. You're totally checked out.
He's an Asian fella. Going back to the Sora and the technology, I look at it the same way that I've accepted CGI.
Sure.
So if they make movies and no one's in it, because actors are best if you don't know anything about them. This whole finding out about people on social media has ruined the mystique of actors. There's some that you see one word they say like, oh, that's what like, and it changes everything. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, I don't think
It is.
did
It would
one
be better
interview.
if they only acted for our pleasure, but we never had to see their stupid real lives, you know?
Yes, I'm all for it. I'm here for it. Jack Carr was talking about how big a production is. The gaff guy, like everything, and it's a crazy gaffer, craft services.
Do you know what the gaffer does?
He
the sound guy?
He heckles people.
He's not the sound guy? No.
He walks on set and falls. Like
The gaffer, not the gopher. Because
the
the gopher is
gaffer.
the guy who runs to get people coffees and shit. The gaffer, and it's not sound.
No.
Whoa.
That's thunder.
It has something
It's
to do
really
with like
raining, Kamar. Holy shit.
lugging wires.
Well, wires, I guess you're kind of on the right track. The head electrician. No,
he
no
doesn't
good.
buy it.
He doesn't
No,
buy it.
I'm
That's
looking
fine.
at the weather. I was uninformed this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's really bad.
What?
I
There was a
usually-
weather warning, 60 millimeters. There's gonna be floods.
Yeah, flood warning.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks.
For your land.
For everything.
Yeah.
But yes, for my land.
So going back to all,
For my land, how will I reap the... how will
No, it's just these really heavy rainfalls where it all comes really quick at once.
it's one of those.
It's part of whatever cycle we're in, and it's not good for
It
anybody.
used to be called El Nino.
it hard for the goy to reap my...
That's so fucking dumb. You got goy right though. You are a dumb goy.
I love you, Simon. 3, don't forget.
You know what we call
3.
shiksas,
Yeah. A shiksa.
white girls.
Yeah.
So all this production and all these people working thing means it's not easy to make a bad movie or bad. Like a lot of effort goes into whether it comes out good or bad.
No, sometimes it amazes me how much money is spent on a movie that is clearly so stupid in all regards.
Dude, think about television. Like, there's people out there, there's hundreds of people out there right now working on The Good Doctor. A doctor with autism. Severe autism, might I add.
And people watching it.
People love that show.
Yeah.
Or I think they do.
Dude, I'll never forget it. I was walking through Vancouver and I see this dude walking down the street and I was like, fuck, I recognize this guy from TV. So I go up to him and I'm like, bro, were you in Dexter? And he's like, yeah, I was. I was like, oh man, so nice to meet you. I dap him up. I was like, what are you doing in Vancouver? You working on something? He's like, yeah, I'm here filming The Flash. And I'll never forget it. I look him dead in the eyes and I go, well, that show fucking stinks. And dude, the whole mood changed immediately. He was like, and I just thought to myself, I was like, in my head, I was like, why would you care? It's a paycheck. Like, if you work on a shit
You
show,
don't criticize anyone in the entertainment industry.
just
They're,
so
they're
number
making
one.
a prequel of Dexter.
oh, great.
Dexter as a child, and Harry, his father, is being played by Christian Slater.
Weird.
And the cop who's trying to bust them is being played by Patrick Dempsey. Just to pull it all full circle.
Dr.
to
McDreamy.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Now it stopped.
It's the birth of the dark passenger.
I thought it was funny.
That's right. Oh my God. So
No. I'm listening.
Halima and I have rewatched Dexter.
Yeah.
And in the first couple of seasons,
Yeah.
when they do a flashback of Dexter
Yeah.
as a teenager, it's just Dexter.
It's him, the same actor, 40 years old.
Wearing this wig that's swept over in the front. Dude, I laugh every time
I
I
know.
see it. It's so welfare. Like, they won't notice. They won't notice that it's just him in a wig. It's so trash.
They
Hollywood's
ran
the
out of
best.
money for costumes.
No, but it's a pretty well done show when you think about it. Like they go to places, they rent marinas, they do it, but they couldn't hire a child to play Dexter as a kid. They had to put him in a wig.
Where did you catch that? I think in your world, the most expensive thing you can do is rent a marina. Because that was insane. You were like, they go places, they rent marinas.
A lot of the show takes place at the marina because he has the boat where he buries the people.
Matt, they're out there renting whole marinas for night shoots.
I bet you it's expensive to rent a marina.
Yeah, oh yeah,
They have
especially
to-
in Florida, at a premium.
You're being facetious.
I was being dead serious.
Renting anything is expensive.
You're right. Good
Anyways.
Kamar. Kamar's so gone.
They must have built a set. That was the
Oh, you're really
marina.
disappointed about tonight.
I
too.
got a kick out of Joe remarking all the effort Daniel Day-Lewis did to play Lincoln, and no one watched the movie, like the sacrifice of the performance. But apparently, do you guys see Lincoln?
No, but I'll do it.
No. There's other movies. There's
I
other
haven't
movies.
seen Lincoln either.
But it is sort of like it was a big deal how he was in the role of Lincoln for a whole year.
Wait a minute.
Was
He
it-
won an Oscar.
Was it not
Yeah.
good?
Well, wait. He won an Oscar.
So he got all the acclaim
This
he
is
could
what I'm
possibly
saying.
get.
Joe said no one saw the movie. People saw the movie. It was very
Well,
popular.
no, I mean sometimes Oscar-winning movies
can
are
be,
the
but
most
that's
popular.
not the case. It made a lot of the box office.
Oh, what did it make? Let's guess anyway.
Are you talking about Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Because that I've seen.
Let's play this one anyway. Simon and I both
I-
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I know, so we're on even footing.
Well, how are we going to possibly know what they spent on it if we don't know what the movie looked like? They could be using fucking Lincoln as a little kid with his hair swept over to save money. Who was the actor? Daniel Day-Lewis doing flashbacks as himself.
All right, what's the movie game, Kamar? Am I hitting the button?
Have you seen In the Name of the Father?
No.
Great fucking movie. That's where they go
That's
to
his-
jail.
that's-
They're the bombers from Ireland. Oh, so good.
That's his first Oscar, right?
He won an Oscar for that. He should have, because that was
He won.
incredible.
I'm pretty sure that was his first Oscar. Yeah.
I saw that movie as like a kid because my parents rented it up at the cottage when we only had videotapes. And it was fucking crazy. I remember watching it and thinking, oh my God, this is nuts.
Lincoln cost $65 million to make. It made $275 million.
See, I would have never
made
guessed that it
200.
That's
cost
what I'm saying. Joe was way off.
million.
People did go to
Yeah.
see it. But you've seen Blood In, Blood Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patos Locos forever.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office.
Sorry, Are we doing Blood In, Blood Out or
Yeah.
American
Blood in, blood
Me?
out.
We're
Blood
doing
In, Blood Out.
Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out.
Which the coolest thing was the time about the gang. People got killed for being consultants on the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I never heard about. Starring Jesse Borrego, Benjamin Bratt, Enrique Castillo, and Damien Chapa.
I saw the craziest video the other day. It's this old video in the 80s of this like Mexican singer on stage, and he's singing, and someone passes him a note, and he reads the note. And he's like sweating profusely. He reads the note, and apparently the note said, if you sing one more note, you're fucking dead. It was a cartel note, and you can see him read the note, wipes a bunch of sweat off his brow, and starts singing. And he was dead the next day.
No way.
2 holes in the head.
That's how you send a message.
Simon, you have a year ready?
The director's cut is 190 minutes. This is a load of a movie.
190 minutes.
And the regular running time is 180. This is a
Hold on, the
3-hour
director's
movie.
cut is 10 extra minutes. They didn't
Yes.
we didn't cut
Yes.
anything. Did we shoot it? Put it in. That's fucking
Maybe,
insane.
maybe it was just a
dude.
cast grab.
That's
Okay,
wild.
I'm ready.
Okay, I said it came out in 86.
And I said it came out in 89.
It came out in 1993.
Well, I was going to say 91.
It came out in 93.
93, not as old as you think.
Wow, I'm fucked here.
Yeah,
then.
me too.
Okay, I said it cost 12 million and it made 27.
I said it cost 13 and it made 69.
It cost 35 million.
Okay. How much cocaine were they
And when
doing?
people got heard wind of the gang killings, it made $4,400,000 at the box office.
I'm sorry, 4.4?
So that's a huge flop, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a complete like, oh, do you see this crazy movie?
First of all, I don't know how it cost 30 plus million to make.
Well, I think it costs a lot to film the whole thing in a prison.
Were there any stars in it?
Benjamin
No.
Bratt?
He was a nobody.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know.
Wow. And that's the movie game.
Like American Me at least had Edward James Olmos or someone.
Can we assume that the DVD sales probably made them back? They probably recouped their money.
No, I think
I'm
it's
not
a real,
even
I think
sure
it's a
about that. I
serious
think
cult
it's a
film.
real
That's what I'm
cult
saying.
film.
Yeah, but cult films tend to do well, like in
No, but maybe one that never like I don't
like
know.
Scarface bombed big time, but made so much money.
I don't
off
think that was one of
Okay,
these.
fair enough. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those early 90s gangster crime movies, they made so much money on the DVD
I didn't know
sales.
Scarface bombed, really.
Yeah, it was panned by the critics, bombed in the theaters.
Was it
Probably-
expensive to make? Let's do Scarface.
Well,
We've done it.
American
You
Me.
wanna do it again?
American
can't
Me
remember
cost
doing it.
16 million to make
16?
and made 13 million, and came out in 1992.
See, those
No one
movies
has a
just weren't
stomach.
popular.
Someone doesn't
yeah.
have a stomach for
How
gang
did,
movies.
How did Colors do? Because that would have been a little more big budget, but same kind of gang relations. And then there was Lean on Me. Remember that one?
Well, Menace to Society made $30 million.
Boys in the Hood must have made more than that.
Boys in the Hood made 57. Oddly enough, I have it right here.
The craziest thing about Colors is directed by Dennis Hopper.
Colors was directed by Dennis Hopper.
Cost 10 million to make and 46
Well,
million at the
Dennis
box
Hopper
office.
directed Easy Rider, which is a real trip,
So Simon Scarface made 66 million in the box office.
and cost
23.
still a success.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like if
No,
you think
like-
about in popular culture Scarface, you would assume. I mean, again, it came out
How
in
much
'83.
did The Godfather make at the movie theaters? I imagine it wasn't even that much.
That's a great
That was a
fucking
movie
question.
we were going to bring up, but
Do you want to do The Godfather?
if you guys want to do it, I'm down.
Sure.
We'll do a second one. All right, get it fired up, Simon. What year do you think it came out? You're not even ready, are you?
No, but I can get ready really quick. The original Godfather. Okay, I got it.
I have a year ready.
Okay, I have a year ready as well.
I said 78.
I said 76.
1972.
Whoa, whoa.
Really? Okay, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. The first one has Brando, Pacino, not Duvall.
Yeah, Duvall.
Yeah, Duvall. Yeah. He's the consigliere. Yeah. Who's the James Caan? Yeah.
Richard Castellano.
Okay,
Sterling
hold on,
Hayden,
hold
John
on,
Marley,
hold on.
Richard Conte, Diane Keaton. Easy on the eyes.
Okay, Simon, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready too.
I said it cost 30 million and it made 225 million.
Okay, I said it cost 27 million, and here's where we differ. I said 75 because things just didn't seem to make a lot back then.
Budget 7.2 million.
I was gonna go with something way lower.
Box office 291 million.
No, wow. Holy fuck, that was a real success story.
And Paramount Pictures obtained the rights for $80,000.
Number two must have been big time.
Yeah, what did 2 make?
That must
Just
have been
tell
a
us.
big time budget and a big time box office.
Dude, it cost, hold on. I just want to go over this again. That cast, even in 72, I get it.
Everybody's like kind of first, second movie.
I guess Pacino. Yeah,
And
okay.
they all are gonna like,
But not Brando.
Everybody wanted to work with what's his name?
Coppola?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. He had done Apocalypse Now.
Nope.
No,
In 72? You think he'd already done
no,
Apocalypse
he
Now?
hadn't. That was later.
That's what I'm saying.
13 million and only made 93 million.
Wow.
The Godfather is a benchmark.
So I'm right there.
That's
Oh,
crazy. The Godfather,
second one.
That's what he's saying.
13 and what?
90. It only made 90. That's crazy. The Godfather 2 is so fucking good.
That's crazy.
That
and
is
off the
crazy.
success of the
That's
first one,
crazy.
how does the second one not do really well? And it's so much better.
There was no algorithms involved.
I liked it better.
Wow. I don't know if I could say I liked it better. It's such a good movie. That's crazy. You know what though, Simon? If you think about it, they couldn't do sequels back then. There's a good, in my mind, if I'm putting myself in like the 80s, you're like, there's no way they made a good sequel, right? Sequels were just trash back then.
It's true. Like, look at like Back to the Future too.
Just every sequel back then was just
Except
like a
for
shitty.
Temple of Doom. That was great.
Oh wow, good point. But that's 80s again. That's like
And he made
That's
it
the weakest of
he
them,
made it a
but your favorite.
standalone movie.
What a friend I am.
It was my favorite.
no,
at
The Last
time,
Crusade is
too.
my favorite.
But you really love the Temple of Doom. too.
Again, it just has a nostalgic place in my heart because it was like the VHS of my
I
grandmother's
know
house.
because I can't.
Temple of Doom, Return of the Jedi. That's all like our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Not yours, mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I threw myself in there. Real piece of shit.
Obviously, tech is way further than whatever we think. Whatever we think is cutting edge, state of the art, whatever you want to call it, there's something more. Agreed.
Yeah, of course. The military is always like miles ahead.
How old do you think Bob Lazar is?
Like, can we honestly just for a second? Is there a chance Osama bin Laden wasn't even alive on near 9/11?
Yeah, he never was near it, physically near.
No, I
or
meant
the whole
alive.
operation.
What I mean is like, is there a chance Osama bin Laden died in like 98?
And they've just been using they used his.
Well, they just again, if they
likeness.
like, if we think the military is 20 years ahead on everything, wouldn't they have had all this face swap AI technology back then?
What I always think about is, what I always think about though is,
I don't know why I use bin Laden, but
it happened on a Sunday, which is always weird because breaking news on a Sunday.
I thought it was a Monday
Sunday
morning.
night, Monday morning, the news.
wait,
came
what
out.
happened?
They said they got
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Osama
9/11.
bin Laden.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Twin Towers.
Yeah, no, that was on
that
a
was
weekday.
Monday morning.
It's a
wasn't
remarkable moment when that is
It
announced.
was definitely a weekday.
Barack Obama
morning.
announced it, and then 2 days later, they're like, "Well, where is he?" He's like, "Oh, we dropped him off at sea." Just like we've never done before.
Yeah.
Don't you know? You buried them at
It's
sea.
literally like we went to the moon. Well, what did you do with all the footage? Oh, we deleted it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
are
gone.
you stupid?
Yeah.
Of course, when you kill the guy, you don't show him to people. You throw him out of the water. What are we doing here?
We dropped napalm on his body right away. We dropped him in a burn pit.
This is how we've been disposing of people since the beginning of fucking civilization.
I may have asked this before, but people are always changing. What is the most pressing conspiracy you would like to know before you die? Right now.
Bigfoot.
Is this-
100%.
Is this real?
Simulation. Not JFK, not
No, none of that matters. Because if none of this is real, none of that fucking matters. Right? You got to start with the question that matters the most first, which I think is any of this real?
There's a guy who just on Alexa breaks down the simulation.
I told you. Do you watch that
Yeah.
one? Simon, he
I
has,
listened to it too. It was incredible.
I told that quote he has from the AI where the guy's interviewing the AI and the AI asks him like, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's something like the AI asks the guy talking to the AI, like, you don't even know that what you're in is a simulation? And the guy's like, what? And he was like, oh, never mind.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dude, that, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
It's just whose simulation or who the problem is always with the who made this planet, who made the Big Bang, who made the simulation. There is never, we can't grasp it just being.
If this is like if the second the lights go out, you quickly find out it is a simulation, it makes it all so much better, in my opinion.
You can still suffer in a simulation.
It just means
that's
that
the problem.
just
You
having
think, well,
none
if
of
it's
it-
a simulation, then I
Having
can't suffer.
having none of it be real in the sense of like, yeah, what I felt was real, but what is real?
But it could be a simulation and it could still just be nothingness for you when it's done.
I
because
agree.
you were just part of a simulation.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
an NPC thinking he has autonomy.
Yeah. Maybe you just get cycled back. You're a new NPC right away. Boom.
And with the zero awareness that you were ever an NPC.
Yeah.
Some people just have that vague recollection that
Well, that's like-
there was something before past lives.
You remember Westworld?
Yeah.
That was the whole idea. Maeve
She still had
Maeve
the
still had
memory,
those
yeah.
memories from her
Yeah.
past simulations.
Interesting. No, that's all very interesting. I would like to know all of that. I think for my life and what I've put into it and what I
you, it's
deem
gotta be
important,
Bigfoot or ancient
it's
aliens.
Bigfoot
Yeah,
for
it's gotta be
sure.
Bigfoot.
I have to know if Bigfoot is real or not. If all these people are lying, they can't all be lying.
Wouldn't that be disappointing though, Simon? Like a genie shows up and is like, I'm going to grant you one single wish. And you're like, okay, fine. Show me Bigfoot. And the genie's like, granted. And then just he disappears and nothing happens.
Yeah, that was. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, though, the only reason I want to know about Bigfoot is because you guys have gaslit me into it. Because normally, like, there are tons of apes, humanoid, whatever you want to call them, bipedal creatures that live in all sorts of parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it's not such a far stretch. There are apes that live in high climates in the cold. Dude, what the fuck is going on here? This motherfucker between the Zin and the goddamn fucking pen.
Even better though, you missed it. He was sucking out its sword, and then he pulled it out, and like it was like a goober was inside it, stuck to his mouth. No, dude, you were hot too in that thing. Fuck yeah, exactly,
I only knew because he made a noise.
This robot's got to come, man.
Yeah, so sorry, you guys have gaslit me into
Yeah,
this.
so you need it. You need Bigfoot.
Well,
Because I would have thought ancient.
but sorry.
Wouldn't ancient Egypt
it
be
is.
more?
I really want to know about the ancient civilizations, but what I'm saying is, you guys have got, because we can't even have a normal conversation where you're like, well, yeah, this isn't so far fetched because they live here, they live there. We've even found species that we didn't think existed.
hold on.
Remember
Hold on.
the
Can I back up
Billy
for a second?
apes?
I just think for you, Simon, like ancient Egypt answers so many more questions for you. Like Bigfoot is one question. It feels like the ancient civilization. Like think about. Just hear me out for a second. Giants, dragons,
Yeah.
how the pyramids were built, what the world looked like. You get what I'm saying?
It's true.
It opens
If
up
we,
more doors.
If we
for
go
you.
back and find out that ancient Egypt, they had it was modern civilization, except they had machines that could transport giant bricks around.
see?
Then Bigfoot doesn't even seem like a stretch anymore.
Forget a stretch. You don't even care about Bigfoot at that point.
Well, I
you're
still
so
do.
dick juiced in fucking how they're moving things around in this ancient civilization.
Yeah, no, maybe ancient. My problem would be, where do I go back to? Do you know what I mean?
Göbekli Tepe.
Where do I want to? I think that's probably the lamest of the bunch.
I disagree. It's so big. I bet that's the one you'd want. Because like it feels
And
like most
it's
of the pyramids have been
the first that they know of. It can't be the first, but I don't
Mar,
know.
what about you? If you
I'd
can
love
find out
to-
anything. Flat Earth.
Flat Earth for sure.
Flat Earth for sure. You are that like convinced possibly that it's not flat?
I don't know. I know it's round, but I also thought our healthcare system was amazing and the steroids are bad. Fucking everything else bad.
Sugar was great. We were all supposed to smoke.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm with Kamar.
I just don't know.
I'll extend the olive branch to Kamar. Like 5 years ago, before we started this podcast, if you'd asked me about flat Earth, it would have been unequivocally 100% impossible. Given, like Kamar is saying, given what I know now, I have to.
I have no desire to jam it down someone's throat, though.
Yeah, and I like that. I have to give it at least 5% possibility. I have to.
Oh, listen, you're not going to get, I don't know what it is. I just, in the big scheme of things, whether it's round or flat, it doesn't make a fucking difference at all. Like the
But
way
what
the
if there's
pyramids
dragons
were
past the
made.
wall? That matters a little bit to you. Like if the Earth is flat, no, but hear me out.
Yeah.
If the Earth is flat and there's
Beyond
a ton
the
of
wall,
shit beyond
there
the
be
wall,
dragons.
that matters a lot to you then, right?
I'm on fire.
He's got his.
Yes, come on, go.
Have you seen? I think I might have this in the post, Joe, but it's apropos that there's a guy
apropos.
trapped in a space station
Yeah,
right now,
that's
and they keep missing the window, or this goes
Is this
wrong.
really?
Then they can't take it. We'll try again tomorrow.
He's going to be dead for sure.
And so the very first time they tried it just worked out. The stars came together the day. Excuse the pun.
You said it didn't work out.
No, I'm saying the mission to the moon.
Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying.
All the
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that had
yeah,
to happen.
They
Yeah.
can't rescue this one poor guy on the space station,
Today.
Matt,
Yeah.
which
Today.
is
A quarter
light
of the
years.
distance. Yeah.
In
Not light years,
no, but
yeah.
you know what I mean.
2024.
It's a 16th of the way to the moon.
That's
is what you're
right.
saying.
It
Yeah.
just stinks.
Yet they made it first shot. Everything
Yeah.
went exactly right. They putted on the moon. They got their pictures.
How
Bada
sketchy,
bing, bada boom.
How sketchy did the U.S. have signed a 10-year defense deal with Ukraine that's supposed to be like carved in stone?
Are they carving it in stone?
Where were you 10 years ago for Ukraine? It's so sketchy.
I like that normally Sleepy Joe would just go over and sign something, but now he's over there with the fucking.
Well, no,
We're gonna-
on the news, they're saying this sort of deal is something Trump can't undo. The politicization of D-Day might have been ironic because I believe on D-Day they were fighting the Nazis and Ukrainians were the Nazis. And now
So fucking
they come around now and Ukraine's the good guys and Russia's bad.
I think it's just like, I don't think it's all Ukrainians that are Nazis.
And
That
lastly,
seems like a sweeping statement.
truly, like Joe said, and I've said,
Not gonna even take
No,
that
he's
into
not walking it back.
consideration.
No.
It's
He
gotta
wants
be-
to double down.
We've already moved on
Yeah.
to the next
Yeah.
thing.
it's locked
He's
in.
like, their flag is a swastika.
He said it, and it's the tooth.
It's locked in. It's locked in.
Yeah, locked in. Gotcha.
I truly believe that there was a point where the left was anti-war.
They're
How long,
100%
how long ago do you think that was?
20 years?
Oh no.
Way, it's
I
got to be.
remember being a kid and they were anti-war. The
Hold on.
right was war and the left was peace.
20 years ago was post 9/11, so
Oh no,
you
sorry.
have to be wrong there.
30 years ago, 40-ish years ago.
But they also agreed to go into Iraq. So I guess you got to go back a little further.
Not than 40 years.
But that was under false pretenses.
Iraq is probably 30 years.
The
ago.
first Iraq.
The first Iraq was what, 1988?
That was the
93,
weapons of
was
mass
it?
destruction.
95.
I think it
93?
was 93.
Same year as Lincoln.
Hold on a sec. Same year as Lincoln. That's ironic.
But if it's 93, we're now at 30 years. So
We're talking about Desert Storm, right? The original?
yeah. So I guess my question to you is like, if we're 3 decades removed from the Democrats being anti-war, how far?
91.
Okay, either way. So 30 plus years since the Democrats have been anti-war.
I bet you they have built in the military industrial complex a formula of time between conflicts that people start to forget.
But wait, George W. Bush was a Republican.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the point is to go to war.
George Bush was a Republican.
And he got the Democrats to agree. They could have said no.
My point
we're
is,
not
this is
doing
my
this.
point. They always vote to go to war. And the
Everybody-
Democrats have to agree to go to war.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
It is?
Well, apparently the country's supposed to agree, but those people represent.
They're
them.
representatives. Yeah. Like again, when they voted to go into Afghanistan, everyone voted. That's why people are like Bernie voted to go to Afghanistan.
So all the
All members of
senators
Congress, all
vote?
members of Congress. If you're a
all the
congressman, you vote.
congressmen vote.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, happens. So the president can say we're going to war. Congress votes. He doesn't. Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm not American, by the way.
What
so
would you? What do
if
you?
you're an
think,
American
what do
listening
you
to this and
think
you're
the take would
frustrated,
be on
you're welcome.
Justin Trudeau if he had not sent any money to Ukraine? So we're not getting involved in this one.
It would be more favorable.
Well, for me it would be, but do you
No, I
think
mean for everyone. Like, listen,
he'd be criticized?
for not sending money, would he be criticized by who? Canadians?
Because I have no problem, like I said, with taking refugees and people.
Listen, there's enough Ukrainian flags around that 50%, I would say 50% of people would be up in arms that we're not giving them money.
but they didn't know about Ukraine the day before they put the flag up.
Of course.
And there's people in Canada right now in places that are have fled
Yeah.
from Ukraine, and Ukraine is looking for them because they want them to go back in their draft age.
Okay.
That
I
has
didn't know
happened.
that. Okay.
That has happened as
okay.
well. And I'm all right with all that and being sheltered that way, but sending weapons, equipment like that.
You are correct. The Congress is the sole power that can declare war.
Yeah, so they all have to-
and the Congress is made up of Republicans,
and Democrats, and I guess occasionally the independents. So you see what I'm saying is anytime they're like, we're going to war, the Democrats have the power to say, no, we're not. And in the last in my lifetime, that's never happened.
Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Hold on a sec. Isn't the whole thing that whoever's in power gets more seats for their people on the Congress?
You still need like a 80% yay or whatever the percentage is. Again, you'd have to Google it, but it's not just 50%. It's not like 50% say yay and we go. It's a higher margin than that. So yes, like listen, Simon, I get what you're saying. If it's a heavy Republican, like if it's 90% Republican congressmen, which is always their goal, then you can push through whatever you want. That's why they always talk about, they have majority and minority governments over down there? No, but they talk about having more seats.
You can only have that with a three-party
We're
system.
so stupid.
You can only have that with a three-party
Yeah,
system.
but
or multiple parties.
But again, my point is they have if you have the majority of Congress or the House of Representatives or the Senate, that's like the big goal.
It's so interesting the whole way it's set up. So
But just hold on, let's go back because like Vietnam, again, the Democrats don't stop anything there, do they? Nope.
Wasn't it Jimmy Carter that stopped it? That's why everyone hated him. We're
Well, maybe eventually, but they already went.
I heard. I saw a clip today of AOC. She's the outspoken
Yes, we know
Democrat
who
from
AOC is, yeah.
Brooklyn, screaming
He's an asshole.
when he
I
does
know.
at her rally. We're gonna take our country back, and the reporter's like, "You guys are in power."
I saw this video of Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Not the pedophile. What always
Either or.
What always aggravates me is
Yeah.
when our prime minister talks about challenging times or world leaders and talk about sacrifices and pulling in your belt like suffrage or whatever. But still, you'll watch the video on Mark Zuckerberg's $300 million yacht. What does he know that we don't know that money we spent? And they'll talk about another yacht that's in development and just the wealth. Or the next, they just showed Diplo, the DJ who's popular for songs such as $100 million mansion in Jamaica. And it's just insane. I'm sure 50 million of it is security, but
Can you show Matt your arsenal of pods?
paraplegic.
Dude, that is.
It's like a cigarette pack full of fucking weed pods.
I showed it to a 27-year-old. He was like, nice.
Dude, this is like the new Leaving Las Vegas. You know what I mean? 42 zins, 68 weed cartridges.
But the feeling of abundance is good. Rather than if you had 3 grams of weed, you're like, well, this is going to last me for 5 joints or whatever it is. I just got to get to the store and I'll always have it cycling through.
I'm happy for you.
This is an intervention.
No.
Yeah, but there's something
Do
wrong.
you think we care enough to intervene?
Okay.
Actually, Kamar, you know what? You're an 8.
Friends forever.
No, he's a 3, bro. Don't extend that shit. He won't even extend the table.
I just don't like how Jack Carr talks. I really have nothing against him.
I just don't like this guy's face or anything about him, but
He's so
I'm happy
deep
for him.
thoughts.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't hate him.
I found this not a super interesting episode.
I give it a 2.5.
I give it a 2.
I will give this one a 1.5.
All right, well, there you have it. Gang, that is an episode. If you made it this far, thank you so much. We appreciate the shit out of you guys. Maybe we want to go a step further. We do have a Patreon. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. For that $5, you will get the post show. It's the show after the show. We shoot the shit, talk some Don Joe stuff. You'll also get a gang of episodes that we went back and listened to old episodes. Did the same thing we do here. Moon debates. You might be garbage. All sorts of stuff like that. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I really hope I go tonight.
why do you hope? Just leave here and go.
No, it's pouring, and there could be thunder showers. Might be canceled.
Oh, they cancel these kids. Cancel this shit.
We'll
What
just
pussies?
have a fucking mud party and you'll miss it.
Yeah. The headlines tomorrow. The Sun will be like, multiple people over 45 got laid last night by young girls.
Anyone
at
who was
Music
at
Festival.
Escapade got their dick sucked up to style in the mud.
Yeah.
Oldest to youngest.
I was like, damn it, motherfucker.
Okay.
It's just the worst FOMO ever. He kills
I'm going.
himself.
I'm
It's
going.
too
I'm
much
going.
for Kamar to handle.
Okay, wrap it up. Just remember, you gotta rate each episode, and then we're out of here.
I'm going. I can't miss it. Oh, yeah.